Welcome everyone to an exciting episode of Two Bar Connection with your hosts Jesse and
James, what's going on, everybody?
what is going on indeed. So today we have some quite interesting news going on. It's kind of a little bit of an unusual week because we actually have something that I think hasn't been really covered too much, where we have an expose concerning Deck Nine, the studio developers behind the recent Life is Strange game, like the damn, I forgot what it's called, but the newest Life is Strange game. Um, I forgot the subtitle was, but we also have some good news concerning Gearbox and how the developers of Borderlands, who have recently managed to escape the iron grip, the incompetent iron grip of Embracer Group. We also have some coverage on the Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, once again, fucking up. We also have some kind of strange news concerning Discord and about how we may be seeing sort of maybe ads through our friends. But we also have more good news with the Knights of the Old Republic remake being confirmed alive and well. So thank goodness for that, right? We have that all that copy we were huffing was not in vain. And then we also have an interesting interview with Phil Spencer, who spoke with Polygon about how Xbox could possibly expand. We also have some coverage of apparently there was a Nolanverse Batman game, and there was some footage that recently leaked on Twitter. We're going to talk about that a little bit. And then there's, of course, the new Star Wars Outlaws trailer, which just dropped today. So gonna have some fresh reactions out of James and I for that, because neither of us have seen it as far as I know.
Yeah.
That's something to look forward to. But before we get into all that, how have you been?
I've been all right. I've actually been resting quite a bit. I'm not as tired as I once was. So I've just been getting my applications because I am trying to apply for grad school right now. And but the good news is I think I have everything I need. I need to have some shadowing experience, which I'm trying to acquire right now. But for some reason, the hospital is very not helpful. So I think I'm just gonna have to show up at the department and be like, "Hey, can I follow you guys around? Because they're really giving me the that phone number runaround. Oh no, you need this department or this department, you know." So that's what I've been doing, and cooked food. Honestly, pretty tame, all things considered. So very, very, very happy. I think actually the last time. The last episode was right before we went on vacation.
Yes, yeah, we went to our very cool special bachelor's party for our
Hell
friend Paul,
yeah.
which was an absolute
Yes.
blast.
It was an absolute blast. I wish I was awake for most of it. Not because I got plastered, but because I had a dude. My dude, that's so tall. Is that how you pronounce it?
So told,
That's
yeah, I think
so
that's how you
tall,
did.
dude. That shit fucked me up, and
Yeah,
not even like got me drunk. Like it gave me a really bad headache, man. And it was, oh man, it was just so bad. It was so bad,
no,
dude.
dude,
And I think I
don't feel bad, man, because I felt like I was gonna throw up for like the whole night, and I got maybe like
oh,
3 hours of sleep because of it. Because I swear I was like nursing that toilet, like being like, okay, can I throw up now? Can I throw up now? No, okay, I'm just gonna shit water. All right, so I'm just gonna shit water now for the next like 2 hours.
yeah, dude, and yeah, because you didn't have a lot to drink either, so it was kind
None
of
of us
like,
did. Everyone was pretty good. No one got plastered. Everyone was pretty good.
yeah, dude, and the food was great. You know, Publix catering, fried chicken. Like, come on, dude, you can't get better than that. But yeah, and that was honestly that was like probably the highlight of the last
Yeah. Oh, well,
week and a half.
you're also a champion, bro. You still got that
Yes,
trophy?
dude. Oh hell yeah! Hang on.
Gotta brag to everybody. Yeah, James is it's a champion at smashing.
Yes. And
The champion
yes,
smasher here.
three. So we held a little Super Smash
He
Bros.
outsmashed
tournament.
all the men.
I outsmashed all the men with my Zelda gameplay. So this is the trophy I got. Official Smash champion of the bachelor party. They said I couldn't do it. They said I couldn't do it. especially a certain someone that was really trying hard with his Ganondorf gameplay, and I was just like, oh, you poor soul. By the way, I
Don't you know how a Zelda game ends, bro?
yes, exactly. That's exactly what I wanted to tell him.
Have you played a Zelda game in the past like 20 years?
Yes, man. But it was so good. It was so much fun. I had a blast. Honestly, I was at a huge disadvantage because I was playing with the headache. Actually, the minute I accepted the trophy, I went into the couch and I knocked out. Like I didn't even hear you guys play Mario Kart at all because they also had a Mario Kart championship, which I did not partake in because one, headache, and two, for as good as I am at Smash, I am absolute dog shit at Mario Kart. So I didn't even bother. I was like, no, 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 no. Smash is my game. I'm taking my trophy and I'm going to sleep. But yeah. So who was the champion of Mario Kart?
It was we had three. It was
Yes.
who was it? It was Diego. I think was number one.
Yes. I think you remember I remember you saying that he was cracked. So
Yeah. I know. He's correct at most Nintendo games. Damn it, who was? Oh right, Paul was second, and then Oscar was third.
Oh, nice, very good.
Or I'm sorry,
And
Oscar was second, Paul was third.
very cool. Well, congrats to them for placing and taking home trophies for the bachelor party, and yeah, so they got bragging rights, and so do I. So Rohan, if you're watching this, I'll rematch you anytime you want, dude. Just don't give me Sotol, please.
That'll be your handicap next time. They both have to drink Sotol every time you lose a stock.
Bro, that was so fucking awful, man. God, that was so bad. That was so bad.
Hey man, but at least yours was over with as next morning, dude. Because I still have to deal with my fucking shitting water the next morning.
Yeah. Actually, dude, you discovered ginger beer that night.
Yes, I know. I was gonna say that ginger beer
you
came
were
in
happy about
so fucking clutch. Oh my god, I am so glad you brought that, dude. Because I probably would not have gotten a wink of fucking sleep if I did not.
That wasn't me. I didn't bring the ginger beer.
Who took it? Who brought it?
I don't know. I guess one of the guys. I was gonna say Paul because I think he was trying to make like a mixed drink with the ginger beer.
Oh my god. Okay, so whoever brought it, you are the fucking goat. You are the real one. You are the best man out there. You are a gentleman and a scholar. And I love you, okay? Because I actually got like 2 hours of sleep. Granted, I was still fucking miserable, but at least I got something.
It would have been way worse without the ginger beer. Let me just put it to you that way. Well, it was funny because I had been drinking it a couple of episodes back because I wanted to try it, and so I'm it's funny how that kind of comes full circle. But yeah, bachelor party was great. I've now taken up cigar smoking. I am now officially a cigar smoker.
You're a cigar enjoyer.
I am a cigar enjoyer. I even got something in the paper. From this company that sends you boxes online, but apparently I've researched them and they're predatory like that, where they'll have a really, really good deal, and then when you buy the cigar pack, they'll automatically enroll you in a subscription.
Oh, they do that bullshit.
Yeah, they do that shit, and I'm like, yeah, no thanks. I think I'll just stick to going to like a cigar shop or some crap. I'm not gonna play that game. And also, I'm not gonna smoke cigars consistently. Yeah, I don't got the money for that shit. That's gonna be one of those when I get into my 40s and I have somewhat of a disposable income, I'll just enjoy a glass of whiskey with with a cigar. But I am a cigar enjoyer now. It was a pleasant experience, and I'll definitely be doing that again.
Oh, it's so cool, dude. I mean, if I ever go by, then we gotta smoke at least some kind of cigar.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. And I think Total Wine has a little cigar section, at least at the one here where I'm at. Mm-hmm. But you should check the one
I'm probably never going to do that on my own here, but, over there, yeah.
Yeah, over there, absolutely. We'll definitely get into it. And honestly, that's pretty much the highlight. I wiped the floor with my Zelda gameplay. I even heard you under your breath call it cheap. But
It is cheap.
yeah,
I mean, whatever. I mean, you look, man. You gotta exploit the cheapness. You gotta whatever.
Yeah.
You put the cheap shit, and if people can't figure it out, sucks to suck, right?
well, dude. Well, it's funny because I remember when I first started playing Smash Ultimate, I actually started playing online, and I was doing great with Zelda. And my one weakness was, well, two weaknesses: Samus, which Diego was playing, and he was the first person I played. And it's funny because I remember how much of a pain in the ass Samus was against Zelda and Snake. Snake is the ultimate cheap character, especially
Yeah.
in the hands of someone who knows what they're doing. Snake can be a pain in the fucking dick. And so, but I got lucky. Everyone was playing Bowser.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I was thinking like what character I could use against Zelda, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll play Palutena. I'm like, oh, I forgot everything how to play Palutena, so I was just clueless on what to do. I could remember there was a counter move, and I thought it was forward B, but no, it was down B. And then I also didn't play. I haven't played the game in like a year, and even then,
Yeah,
before then, I don't own the game, so like I play the game maybe like once a year. So I sometimes I have to reacclimate myself to the controls. And the Snake was the other one. Actually, I was thinking of like, oh, maybe I should do Snake. I don't really play Snake, so maybe I'll do Palutena.
yeah, honestly, you're better off just playing the character that you're best at. And for me, it's Zelda.
Well, I remember I was using Byleth in the free for alls. I won all the free for alls. So.
Oh
I
yeah,
just spammed
Violet.
the
You know what? You were a menace. You were a
I
menace
just
with
spammed
Violet.
the axe bullshit. That's why I picked him.
Yeah, dude, and it's funny. I think it's an uninterruptible move, right?
No,
So-
it has armor in the middle of it. That's what it is. You guys keep getting caught by the armor, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
super late in the attack. Like it's like I looked at the frame data. It's like 40 frames in, so you have like almost half a sec. You have like over half a second to hit her or hit him out of it.
Yeah.
But if you don't, then you hit him. But after that, oh yeah, you get killed.
Okay, yeah. Because I kept trying to interrupt, but it's the same. Actually, it's the same problem that I was having with Ganondorf, and actually Rohan caught me a good number of times where I would try to like hit him out of his like special, but he like it's one of those things that you can't interrupt. It
Yeah, he has
goes
armor.
Yeah, it has armor. So I was like, oh, like after the third time, I'm like, oh, for God's sake, think, remember, you can't. You gotta keep your distance. But yeah, Smash is great. Actually, it reignited my love for the game. So I actually brought my Switch back with me, and I'm contemplating purchasing Nintendo Online so I can smoke some fools.
Okay, well I mean you know how bad the online is, so I don't know if you want to spend your money on that.
I actually got really high in the online. I can't remember the score though. I wonder if it still kept it. I'll have to check. But in any case, I'll be more than happy to rematch any of you guys. Please.
Well, I really hope. I mean, I doubt it, but I really hope for the next Smash they really invest in netcode. I mean, there's a high likelihood they won't, but
Well,
it'll
isn't
still
this
sell a bajillion
the
copy.
isn't this the last Smash game?
What was the last one Sakurai will work on?
Oh, well, that's the last one I want to play, dude. Because like he's the heart and soul of that game.
Yeah, no,
You know, it's like,
he really is. Like that game is his vision, and it wouldn't be where it is today without him.
Yeah, dude, it'd be really weird. I mean, yeah, I mean maybe it wouldn't be the same. So it depends. We'll see.
And also, like they've kind of hit the glass ceiling at this point because it's like this is like the best roster like in any fighting game ever. Like how do you beat this? Like how do you can't top this? Like you have all the fucking Nintendo characters that everyone knows and loves, plus you have Final Fantasy characters, Cloud, Sephiroth, plus you have King of Fighters, Thierry, plus you have Dragon Quest, the hero. You have Banjo Kazooie, you have Persona. I feel like I'm
And then,
missing
of
some other one.
course,
Snake, Bayonetta. Well,
fin-
Bayonetta is technically sort of Nintendo. Bayonetta is
You're
kind of
forgetting
Nintendo.
their last edition. That
Sora, fucking
Yeah, I was gonna
Sora,
say.
like a character that people have been
Yeah.
asking for years.
Yes, dude. So you're right. Yeah.
And like to renegotiate all those contracts and go through all those legal red tape would probably be a fucking nightmare. I can only imagine.
But if anyone can do it, it's a Nintendo lawyer. So
Oh, well, it'd be Sakurai. Sakurai would be the one who brokers like all those deals and stuff because he's like the guy with all the clout, right?
that is true.
Without him, like you wouldn't have all those characters in there. more likely than
That
not.
is, yeah, of course.
But I mean, they could make up with it with good online, man. Like if you, or at the very least, re-release Ultimate and like have like a reworked netcode. Be like, okay, guys, we're gonna relaunch the game for our Switch 2, except now it has way better online. So you can actually play it online, actually playable. You don't have like a million frames of fucking lag.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I will say, when I played the game and I had my internet back home, which by the way was kind of it actually was not bad. The majority of my games were playable. And actually no, they were good. Like there was only like I would say 10% of my games that had the typical Nintendo online lag fest. But for the most part it was actually not bad. Not bad at all.
Oh, okay.
They
Well,
could they
how
could
soon after launch did you get it?
I think actually I got it like one of the first days.
Oh,
I think
okay.
I had purchased some edition that came with Piranha Plant included. Like
Okay.
because he was the first fighter
Yeah, I remember.
of the DLC fighters.
Well,
So
well, the thing is, at launch, it's always like decent because it has people near you. Like there's always like it has people who have had connections that are close to you, so it's not just as strenuous. The real test is like 6 months afterwards when like a ton of people drop the game, and then the population shrinks, and now the game has to like connect you to some dude like in fucking California or something, like from Florida to California, or from like New York to like Colorado or something. That's a long distance, right? Or like even cross continent, right? You're going for trying to connect someone in Europe, right? Like good luck trying to have a good match with that with the Nintendo's netcode. Like you're just not.
yeah,
It's gonna be impossible. So that's what I want. I want them to like make it so that I can play with some fucking person in Japan, right? And I'll have maybe like a little bit of lag, but it's still perfectly playable. Like it doesn't hitch all the time.
yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean it could be, but then again, we don't know much about the Switch 2's hardware, and actually we covered this. Did it from what we heard, is it an actual like I mean, is it an actual like true advancement or is it just like a minor upgrade?
No, I think it's supposed to be a pretty substantial upgrade.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
can't remember because I don't think we know anything about like its specs.
I think we
So
I think there was like I think we covered the specs one time. There might have been like a little small leak on it, but I don't remember the
yeah.
specifics. But
Well,
it is. I do remember it being a noticeable upgrade.
okay.
Is
All right,
what
that's
I
fair.
remember.
Yeah, because I need it because I tried to play handheld on my Switch, Tears of the Kingdom, because for reasons unknown, a certain emulator got shut down. So so I got it on my Switch, and dude, I shit you not, the battery went from 100 to 35% in 15 minutes of play.
Oh my god.
That battery is dead. Like I cannot play that thing handheld.
Oh my lord.
Bro, I was like, what is this? This is oh my god. However, I will say I'm surprised that the Switch, like, because it hadn't been touched. Like it had dust, bad dust. Because, my sister doesn't play it. So that's why I was like, ah, fuck, I'll just take it back with me. So yeah, considering it was only the battery that got like deleted, I'm actually pretty happy that it's working good.
That's good to hear, man. Anything else on the gaming side? I know I've
I
been really
haven't
busy.
touched. No, I've been busy and I haven't touched Final Fantasy because I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom. So I am going to go back to Final Fantasy though soon.
Are you still in the same spot?
Yeah, I haven't touched it since I left for vacation.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I will get back to it though.
you're hopping games again, man.
Man, I can't help it. I can't help it. But I'll go back. I promise. Tears of the Kingdom can stay right there. It's been a while since I've just kind of like sat in my couch and played a game. I'm always playing games on my computer, so
Yeah.
it kind of brought back memories, of when I was a kid. Just sitting there with the controller on TV. I was like, oh my god, life used to be great. I mean, life was great. It's just life was great in a different way back then. But enough talk about myself, dude. I feel like I've just been chatting away. How are you doing? Besides the whole Sotol ginger beer disaster.
Yeah.
How's
Well,
it?
I mean, I had a great time otherwise. Okay. It's just I couldn't go to the bathroom right for a while. Didn't eat much after the day after when we went to the Panthers game.
Yeah, which by the way, that
Unfortunately,
was awesome.
yeah. But I also missed the fucking shootout. I had to watch it on YouTube afterwards because I thought, oh, okay, I'll just go real quick before because I thought it'd be like a little break. No, but they went straight into it like immediately. They're like, all right, everyone, fuck off the ice. Goalies, you stay, and then they just went immediately into it. Like it was like 5 seconds. Like what the fuck? I just I thought it'd be a little intermission, like a 2-minute intermission. Nope, they just went straight into it. They really want that
Yeah.
game done and over with.
Yeah.
But I still had fun, right? The arcade we went to afterwards was really cool.
Yes, dude.
That was really
That
nice.
was-
They had like a whole wall there of like N64 and like Super Nintendo games. That was
Yes.
super cool to see, and it's a great deal. Like it's $7 and you can play however much you want. Like the arcade machines don't take coins or anything. They're all on free play. So you literally just press start, and then you can keep pressing start to like add lives. Like Josh and I played that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game, the
Yeah.
arcade one. We played through the whole thing. I mean, granted, it was like 30
Yeah.
minutes, but we played through the whole thing. Like I just kept mashing it until I had like 100 lives, and then I just played.
Yeah, no, I saw you guys like, dude. I think I jumped to like 3 different arcade machines, and you guys were still on that Ninja Turtle shit. I was like, holy crap, dude! You guys are fucking going ham on that shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was only 30 minutes, but it's so funny playing these old games, these old arcade games, where it's like, it's very clear when the game wants your money. It's like, all right, buddy, all right, kid, you better cough up those fucking quarters, right? Because like you'll get boss fights, or like the boss will literally like you'll get one hit in, and he'll just instantly hit you, and you have no time to react at all, and he just does that over and over again, or he just has attacks where he just literally cannot interrupt him at all.
Yup.
And you're there for like 2 minutes straight, like just hitting him over and over and over again. He just won't fucking die at all. So that's the game. Just going like, all right, kid, cough up those quarters. You got some money?
Honestly,
Put some money in now. More.
yeah, more.
But otherwise,
Man,
it was still fun though. It was nice. It's always nice to play old arcade games.
No, it is, and honestly, it's a piece of gaming history. So it's really nice to go back and play those old games. They even had some newer ones too. There was a Japanese one that I was playing with Rohan and Gene, where dude, like it was in strict Japanese. We had no idea what the fuck these people were saying. Like, it was just like Japanese lettering exclamation point, and we're like, okay.
I
guess
don't remember that game.
somebody's-
What'd you do in the game? What kind of game was it?
I think it was just literally a collection of different mini games that you play.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I mean it was fun, but it was just kind of weird. Because some of them is like you have to balance a train on tracks while collecting stuff with 2 buttons, but then the track shifts, so then your middle wheel you have to switch tracks while you're still collecting shit on each side. So it was kind of like, yeah. So it was kind of like, can you like rub your belly and tap your, well, I
Tap your
couldn't
head.
do it. And yeah, I couldn't do it, but yeah, but it was that type of mini game, and yeah, and then there's another one there where you have to feed carrots to a bunny, but like if there's an item that's not a carrot, you have to like not hit the button. But if you hit the button, like you get penalized, and you have to like wait a little bit before you can do it. So it was interesting, but very, very, very Japanese-esque. And then of course they had a Switch in the back where they had Mario Kart and Smash.
Yeah, of course.
We inevitably gravitated towards
Yeah, I
that.
saw. I was like, nah, I had enough of Smash. I'm gonna play arcade games.
Nah, bro, I can never get it. I can never get it. Yeah, but actually, I think Rohan was playing with Sora because I don't think he had the chance to when we did our little competition. So he got the chance to play a little bit, and honestly, Sora looked dope. That was my first time seeing gameplay of it because I actually have not seen people use Sora.
I was too busy hitting with my axe to notice. Oh, that's a cute keyblade you got there, kid. What are you gonna do about this axe?
Power friendship, bro. Don't make him get down with the cast.
Power these nuts. And And this axe, boy.
But yeah.
But yeah, well, I mean, outside of that, it was spring break for me, so I got to get a little week off, which was great that it lined up with the bachelor party. So I did actually manage to catch up on some TV because I mean I never watched TV. I watched the new X-Men '97 series, which is a continuation of the '90s cartoon. So I really like the '90s cartoon, so it was really cool to see that. It was
Nice.
it's good, man. Like it's really good. It definitely feels like it just picks up right where the '90s left off, and it has like that same energy and cadence as like the '90s cartoon. Obviously, like the art styles been updated a little bit, and the episodes are a little longer, so they have more time to like let things sit. But it still has like that very similar pacing. Like a lot of shit goes on in these episodes, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was always more of a Spider-Man '90s show.
Oh yeah, that one was a good one too.
Dude, that was great.
That was a
so
really good one, and that one ended on a cliffhanger too. I think so. Like it would be kind of cool if they did like a revival, kind of like they did with X-Men '97. They do something equivalent with Spider-Man, which is actually really funny because I actually saw Invincible also, and Invincible of season 2. And in the last episode, there's a cameo by Josh Keaton. And for those of you who don't know who Josh Keaton is, he's the voice of Spider-Man in the '90s cartoon.
Oh, okay, yes.
So it was actually really funny to hear him like, wait, is that Josh Keaton? Like, okay. is that 90s Spider-Man? Okay. So yeah, I mean, X-Men's great. Invincible is also great. I can't wait for season 3, right? Because hopefully I don't have to wait as long, right? I think Robert Kirkman, the creator of Invincible, the comic book, and he's also I think a producer on the show, said that don't worry guys, you're not gonna have to wait as long for season 3 as you did for season 2 because season 1 came out like in 2021 I think. So it took like a good 3 years because animation takes a long time, and then also the pandemic and all that shit.
Yeah.
So, but the only thing is that it kind of ends a little bit like anticlimactic. I didn't realize the final episode of the season, the season finale was the season finale. I'm like, wait, that's it? Like, oh, okay. It just ends. It felt like a penultimate episode where like the real season finale was gonna start up, but no, it just ends because every season's 8 episodes. I'm guessing they're gonna keep doing that all the way through. And then outside of that, I've been going back to the gym, so getting some my gains in again. Right, getting back into it. My biceps are actually still kind of sore. I did biceps for the first time in like weeks.
Oh, nice, dude. Very nice.
Yep, did some 21s, pull-ups, all that shit. And then I went to the youth fair, so spent a lot of money there. I took like $100 from my wallet, and like I spent it all, man.
It's been so long.
Yeah, I spent it all, man. Between the food, and I bought some glasses, and I also bought something like this cute little hat that like you press the buttons and like it has like little ears, and if you press like buttons down on like these strands, it causes the ears to like stick up. So
okay.
Yeah, I bought her that. Then of course the food, the water, and then the tickets. Oh my god, yeah. So
did you get elephant ears?
No, I did not.
Oh
no, I did not. I did not.
How could you?
I got ribs. That's what I got.
Oh, okay, that's fine too.
Yeah. But they were kind of dry, to be honest. Yeah, they were sitting there for a while. So they were a little dry. I had to put a lot of sauce on them.
Honestly, dude, I think the only thing like food-wise that I would eat there would be corn on the cob and elephant ears. But I don't think I've actually. Oh, and the lemonade. Lemonade is delicious. So, yeah. Oh.
Yeah. You kind of went a little Decepticon there, but I heard you. I heard you just fine.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I heard you. Just,
all right. Yeah. Do I sound better now?
Corn on the cob and elephant ears. Yeah. Yeah, I heard you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then also the lemonade that they sell in those like Yeah. Sorry,
I didn't have that. I just had water. That's all I drank while I was there.
Oh. Okay. Water.
Yeah, exactly. And then on the gaming side, some more Helldivers. I'm finally level 25. Finally, I got my exosuit. Yeah. And we got we got some new recruits. Well, I mean they're not. Well, one new recruit. Well, so another one's a veteran. But we finally connected with our fellow Patriots, G and Paul. Shout outs to you guys. Paul, can't wait to play with you on Sunday. We're gonna play Sunday, right?
Yes, we are gonna play Sunday
because we're all off.
We'll have to play early.
Yeah, of course, play early because he has to go. He wakes up with the freaking crack of dawn, so we gotta get our time in before then. And then outside of that, the last thing I did was I bought Final Fantasy VI. I bought the Pixel Remaster on Steam because apparently the 30th anniversary for the game was on April 2nd.
Which is dope.
Yeah, so, I mean, I love Final Fantasy, right? I'm still kind of high off Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but I am admittedly taking a little break from it, from the post-game stuff, so I thought, I'm going to play another Final Fantasy game. I'm going to play Final Fantasy VI, which I remember playing in college, and I absolutely loved it. Like, it's one of the best ones. Like, it's, I gotta say, like top 3, out of the mainline games.
Yeah.
So I'll probably be playing that until the end of the month, and then there's gonna be another fucking Japanese RPG game coming out that I'm gonna be dumping a ton of time into.
Doji. I wonder what.
All right, man. Well, I mean, that's just about covers our intro. You ready to cover some news?
Pretty much. Yeah, of course. Sorry that was a bit long, but there
was a lot of shit that happened, man.
Yeah, a lot of stuff is going down.
A lot of
man.
stuff going down.
Let's take it away.
Well, our first order of news is some good one, at least if you were a employee at Gearbox Entertainment, where apparently Take-Two, the studio, the publishers behind those NBA games and BioShock, have bought out Gearbox Entertainment for $460 million. So, for those of you who don't remember, back in 2021, Gearbox got bought by Embracer Group for $1.3 billion. And then everything that happened with Embracer Group happened, where they tried to, puff up their value by picking up a bunch of assets and selling themselves off to the Saudis. But when that fell through, then, well, yeah, we had a very big fallout from that, where everybody and their mother had to get fucking laid off, and a bunch of games had to be canceled and studios got closed due to the irresponsible spending of some select few morons. But luckily for Gearbox, they don't have to suffer that fate, as they now are under new ownership with Take-Two. And also, there has been seemingly a Borderlands 4 confirmed. But before we get into that, there's actually some studios that actually did not get purchased here, interestingly enough. So the $460 million covers Gearbox Software in Texas, Gearbox Montreal, and Gearbox Studio in Quebec. And it'll also cover Borderlands and Tiny Tina, as well as Risk of Rain, Brothers in Arms, and Duke Nukem. But it doesn't cover the publishing arm of Gearbox in San Francisco. So I think it's only the development studios, because Gearbox does do some publishing. Which that studio, or the San Francisco studio, published Remnant 2, which was a kind of a sleeper hitter last year. Like, it was kind of like a game that kind of surprised everybody with how good it was. They also have the publishing rights for the Hyper Light Breaker, which is a sequel to Hyper Light Drifter, which actually also looks like a really cool game. It's like an open world roguelite. I don't know if you've seen anything on it.
No, I've just seen nothing on it.
Yeah, it's an open world roguelite. Like, you're in a town, and then you get missions, and then you go into the open world, and the entire open world is randomly generated, and you go out and complete missions and shit. The sale also excludes studios that Embracer bought through Gearbox Software, which includes Cryptic Studios, Lost Boys Interactive, and Capture Dimensions. Unfortunately, I don't know anything about these studios, so I can't really comment. But we have this quote here from David Ismailer, president of 2K, where he sort of confirms Borderlands 4. He says, "We are thrilled to welcome Randy Pitchford and his team of passionate, talented developers at 2K. We look forward to releasing numerous projects in the future as colleagues. We have loved partnering with Gearbox on every iteration of the Borderlands franchise and are excited to be in active development on the next installment in the series."
Interesting.
And then
Borderlands 4.
Yeah, and then his own statement, Embracer co-founder and CEO shithead Lars Wingefors referred to the investment as part of a transition to becoming a leaner and more focused company, saying the transaction will lower business risk and improve profitability. In other words, oh, thank God. I no longer have to worry about these guys. So, man, any thoughts?
Well, I mean, it's just good news. Same thing that happened with Saber, that broke free of the chains of bondage from these assholes. Uh, 2K has found. Gearbox has found a home in 2K.
Yeah, a home they're familiar
So
with, actually. So
yes, exactly. If anything, they've returned home. So I think it. I think it's good. I think it's good. Hopefully they can. They can come back strong with a good Borderlands game or a new IP if they're feeling brave.
maybe,
But
maybe. I mean, I don't know, man. That Battlefront game did not. I'm sorry, Battleborn didn't really pan out for
yeah,
them
yeah.
because for some reason they thought it was a good idea to launch it like a few weeks before Overwatch, and now Overwatch in its heyday, and then Overwatch just took all its fucking lunch money and then some.
Yeah, dude.
It took all its
Yeah,
lunch
maybe.
money and it's all its Rule 34 art, and then so and then they went to the bank, and then they fucked up the bank with Overwatch 2.
I uninstalled it from my computer.
Oh really? Oh, I was actually okay. I saw it installed.
Nope.
I'm gonna put.
Sorry, dude. Not doing it.
I was actually playing it the other day. I was playing. They had an April Fool's patch. It was kind of fun.
Oh, the googly eyes.
Yeah, the
Oh,
googly
I'm
eyes and
glad.
shit.
Oh, how nice! They're such a indie company, and they're so cute. You know, they're so like into gamer culture with them Easter egg. Get the fuck out of here. Game's awful. So anyway, yeah, yeah. So congrats to Gearbox. Hopefully, hopefully everything will be great for the next Borderlands. Which, by the way, we never finished Borderlands 3. Well, we did, but we just didn't finish the DLC.
Yeah, we were on the DLC. I actually haven't played. Yeah, I haven't really played since then. I was on the second DLC. I never got to
Yeah,
the third one.
we did it together. It was the
We didn't finish the first one. I did the first one by myself. The
Oh,
second one I never finished by myself
oh, okay.
because my performance was ass. So
Oh, that's right. Yes,
it was dog shit. Like just in that DLC, the rest of the game, like it was kind of hit or miss at times, but for the most part it worked. But when you got to the DLC, dude, I don't know what it was, man. Like it just, I could not play it. The
Was it, like,
performance
poorly
was so terrible. I mean, yeah, Borderlands on PC is always fucking poorly optimized, but it was especially bad for the DLC. But I mean, also the computer was kind of weak at the time, so I mean, I can't blame Borderlands too much for it. Now I think if this was juiced up PC, I might be able to. But I mean, Borderlands also takes up a shitload of space. It's like 200 gigs.
dude. That's fucking crazy.
Like
Man.
if you include like all the DLC and stuff, yeah, bro, it's like close to 200 gigs. And I don't know. I don't know if I got that kind of space for it.
Well, now you, dude. Didn't we put in a freaking 4 terabyte SSD?
I haven't installed it.
Ooh,
I never installed it. Still in the little box there right behind me on my shelf.
gotta get to it.
I got a Manny
Right.
to it. I ain't doing shit.
If we can find him.
I mean, I could always call and be like, "Hey, bro, can I come over Friday and I'll treat you to lunch?" That's usually what I did. That's what I always did, like for the computer. So I'll be like, "Hey, bro, can you help me install this stuff? I'll treat you to dinner." That's what I did.
Smart.
I just paid him dinner every time.
Maybe you think if we buy him dinner, he'd play more games with us then.
Maybe. Get off
Well,
that
anyway.
war crack.
Dude, for real, bro. Like, fuck. Even my dad was like, "Man, you know your old guildies. They ask, hey, why don't you play Warcraft anymore?" And I'm like, "Dad, I don't do that. I hate Blizzard. I hate Blizzard now." Well, I will say though, I do miss being a healer, especially in the Legion expansion. That was a lot of fun.
Well,
But
apparently,
goddamn,
Dragonflight's pretty good. Like the community seems pretty happy with it, which is crazy because like I feel like the WoW community's been so pissed at Blizzard for like the past like 3 expansions, and they're finally released a good expansion. Like, oh wow! But then Classic, they're releasing Cataclysm. And everyone's like, boo,
yeah, dude,
because Cataclysm's kind of like when things went south.
No, dude, I had this exact conversation with my dad because he's playing Wrath of the Lich King, which he loves. It's his favorite one. And I'm like, well, it's funny because everybody is in agreement that was the last great expansion. And then when Cataclysm came out, then that's when people were like, what's going on, and then before they knew it, it came crumbling. So, but in any case, damn it, dude, we always go back to Blizzard. But
Well, I do. You don't. Like you don't. You just fucking every time you bounce off, man. I try and get you. Like, hey, bro, it's actually kind of decent. You're like, nah, bro, it's trash.
no, dude, it's
Like-
like guys.
And like Diablo 4, like apparently they have like season 4 is apparently like they're reworking like the almost everything in the game. So like it actually might be pretty decent, at least for the more hardcore people, right? Because I mean I've always been a casual casual Cassie. So I mean like I just played the game like, oh okay, no, that was fun. I killed some monsters, got some cool loot. Okay, now I'm gonna bounce off, right? And I usually come back like for the expansions. But like for season 4, right, they're reworking like almost everything, and they're actually like adding an end game. So like maybe I might go back, but I also don't want to reinstall Battle.net because I uninstalled it after Overwatch 2 went to Steam because like, oh, I'll just put it on Steam, right? I don't need to.
Yeah.
I don't need Battle.net
exactly.
to take up work. Now, if they had cross-buy, like they fucking should have, right? Like they give you a fucking code and be like, here, bro, you punch it in, and there you go. Now you have it on Steam, right? You already paid money for it. Just let me use it on Steam. But no, they don't want me to. They don't want me to play, bro. And you know who else doesn't want you to play?
Tell me who doesn't want me to play.
Rocksteady with Suicide Squad apparently just doesn't want you to play their newest game, Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. More specifically, they don't want you to play Joker, at least not without paying some moolah.
Yes, either paying with a shitload of your time or moolah.
So we have here the recent release of Season 1 for the post-launch support of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League that is supposed to feature Joker, as well as some other stuff that I'm not really sure of because I don't care too much. Yeah, so apparently the big hubbub about this is that Joker is on the Battle Pass, or whatever the equivalent of Battle Pass is called, and you can acquire him for free if you get the premium version. You can buy him with some Luther coins, which, oh my god, it's so fucking cringe, but... Luther coins. Oh my god.
Sorry.
The only thing would have been worse is fucking Batman coins, and you have like, just George Clooney there with his Bat credit card.
I was honestly
Swipe your Batman credit card for some Luther coins.
never leave the cave without it. It feels wrong to make fun of that movie because I actually liked it when I was a kid.
Yeah, we all liked when we were a kid. We were all dumb, so.
We weren't dumb. We were kids. It's different. It's different.
Yeah, but I mean, besides that, there's also the fact that Joker doesn't seem to add too much to it. Like, there's no story missions or any new story content, so to speak. All you get is like an animated intro with him and then a cutscene introducing him to Amanda Waller and the task force, right? Task Force X. So like he meets the team, and that's pretty much it. And they're like, all right, go out and do the same shit you've been doing for like the past like 2 months since this game launched. Yeah. Oh, except now you get to fight Brainiac this time. Who, by the way, Brainiac, the only thing he does is just copy whatever the bosses were in the game, because there's 4 bosses, right? The 4 Justice League members, and then Brainiac just copies one of them, right? So
Yeah, so actually...
so there may be 5 bosses in name, but technically there's only 4 because one of them's a repeat.
Actually, technically speaking, it's been repeated 3 times. Spoilers, by the way. The boss wait, can I talk about spoilers? Does anyone give a shit?
Oh, who gives a fuck, bro?
Yeah, I just want to make sure. I gotta have some respect for the people, not the game, but the people.
Yeah,
But anyway,
457 people currently playing the game. Yeah, you have respect for them. I have Steam charts open, by the way.
But in any case, so spoiler alert: 4 bosses in the game. You play the same one 3 times, and that one is the Flash. So the Flash boss fight, which is the first boss fight in the game, you then play again in Superman, except he's flying around instead of just running around. And then the final boss with Brainiac, he literally morphs into the Flash, and then you do the same boss fight from the first one. So you yes, so
There are 5, but 3 of them are repeats.
5 and 3 are but 3 are the same. So technically
3.
there's only 3 boss. Yeah, there's only 3. Yeah.
Yes.
Damn it.
Math hard.
You got me. Mathing is fucking difficult. But you know what? Looking at this game already makes me brain dead by association.
But you know what, bro? This time, he copies the Green Lantern. Oh, and he's not the Flash or Superman.
Oh, in season 1? Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah,
oh,
bro. So you have
man.
to fight Brainiac again, except now he's Green Lantern.
Oh, you know what, dude?
And you get Joker, bro.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm so sorry. I did shit. Dude, color me shocked. I did not realize that they had such boundless creativity with this shit.
Yeah, so needless to say, the subreddit was not very happy. You have one person saying, yeah, it's absolutely fair to see the season was make or break for this game. I was hoping for some new missions or some new additions to the story, but instead of just add a new character you have to grind for or buy, nothing more, no story, no missions, no new content. There is nothing besides new Riddler crap and some reskinned buildings. I really wanted this game to do well. I believed it could, but this was just disappointing and probably killed it. You know, it's always funny when people say that. When people are like, oh, like, no, this is the make or break season, guys. Like, it's always like the first, like, 1 or 2 seasons. Like, no, dude, that's not how this works. If the game's shit at launch, it's going to stay shit for a long time.
Yes, dude.
Like, oh, no, this is the update, guys. This is the one that's going to fix it. You know, like, no, that's not going to happen, man. It's going to take, every time, like, this happens, it almost always takes at least a year. And I'm being generous there. I'm being very generous there when I say that. I think the 1 year mark is like when the game starts turning around, and then maybe it might be good for like the next year after that. But yeah, so according to Rocksteady though, but according to Rocksteady, yeah, that's not it for season 1, man. You know, you can look forward to some new weapons inspired by villains like Two-Face and Reverse Flash and Black Manta, right? Black Manta, sorry. Yes, because when I think Reverse Flash, I think gun, right? Him and his Speed Force gun.
Speed Force gun.
You can also expect some new infused enemy types and another Brainiac battle. Oh shit! Except this time he copies Superman, bro. Aren't you hyped?
Fuck you, dude.
You want to fight Brainiac Superman?
I want to fight whoever thought this was a fucking good idea for a game. Ugh. Wasted potential, wasted opportunity, just wasted everything. Like literally, if you were to plan out the worst possible approach for the worst possible idea, you even planning it out, you cannot make it this bad. It's insane to me. But they did.
Yeah,
they honest to God thought this was a great idea. Ugh.
Yeah, and then, needless to say, you know, beyond all that, the player count isn't looking too hot either. Like I said before, we have 457 people currently playing with a 24-hour peak of 499. Right? And the all-time peak was 13,459, right? Which is abysmally low at this point.
Yeah.
For a live service game, yeah, that's very, very, very low.
Dude, if your game makes people want to go and play your old titles, you fucked up. You have.
Meanwhile, Helldivers, which came out like, I think like a few weeks before or after. No, after. I think it came out like a few weeks after. Yeah, they're currently sitting at 242,254 players playing right now. And like,
which, by the way, I just want to say, sorry.
Are you going a little Decepticon there, man?
Congratulations, Felder Monsters. Pounds of it. Oh.
Yeah, you went Decepticon there for a bit. Hello?
Give me a minute. I'm coming back.
Oh, okay, you're coming back? Okay. Because I can see you like on the link, right? But then, yeah, I don't see you on OBS.
Hey, yep.
Okay, good. What were you saying?
Yeah. Oh, you can see me on the link. Oh. What?
Yeah, I can still see the
there
link.
you go.
Link is fine.
Sorry, the automatons know what's talk. Sorry, the automatons. No, the automatons know what's talking shit.
Yeah,
so
they were
have to
sabotage.
feed,
Sabotage.
No, I just wanted to say, sorry to interrupt, but congratulations to our fellow democracy spreaders. We have completely obliterated the automaton threat, and I couldn't be more proud.
Yes, we can
Oh,
go back
you
to
all
filling
fellow-
out those SC01 forms now.
Yes, those C01 forms, they're back on the menu, boys.
Sex is no
Right.
longer banned.
They banned sex. Oh my god. But in any case, yeah, no, there's not much. Suicide Squad killed the Joker season one. Oh, sorry, killed the Justice League. With Joker is a joke. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
How long do you think? Over under a year before this game kicks the bucket.
Under a year.
Under a year. Okay.
If
Yeah.
they're smart.
Yeah. That sounds about right. I mean, Avengers lasted like 2 years almost, and I was shocked that lasted as long as it did. And this game is way worse than Avengers.
That which is why I say it will last less. I think also a lot more people were riding on the Marvel hype. Which I think contributed to the game's longevity as well. Would you agree or no?
Yeah, I mean, I think that could possibly play
Yeah.
into it a little bit. Marvel was kind of the thing at the time. It was at its peak at that
Yeah.
moment in time. When did Marvel's Avengers come out? It was like, was it
Yeah, even though
2020? It was 2020, yeah. So like Marvel's was still like riding off the high of like Endgame and stuff.
yeah, so it still had a thing. However, it's funny because even though it's funny because I think you were the first to say it that they looked like the bargain bin Avengers.
Yeah.
With their even with that, people still flocked to it and stuff like that. I think what killed it though, remember when Spider-Man was added
Yeah.
and the swinging for that game was disgustingly awful. Like people were roasting the way that the swing mechanics on that game. Have you seen it?
No, I have not.
Oh, dude. Well, when
No,
you
I
get the
never did.
chance, get the chance, look up a video on it.
Yeah.
Like you have better Spider-Man swinging in the fucking Lego Avengers game.
Oh, really?
Yes, dude. Oh god, it was just so funny.
Oh. Well, man, it's hard to beat, the web swinging in the Marvel Spider-Man games and those PS2 Spider-Man games.
Yes, bro. Yes. No. Just yes. Can't say more than that.
But I mean, if you can get at least half of that, half as good, then this should be passable. But man, if you can't even get that, oh damn. Okay. And it took them a while to like launch him because they advertised him like a year in advance. Like, oh
Yeah.
hey, you're gonna get Spider-Man in. You guys want Spider-Man, right? Oh, only if you're a PlayStation owner. By the way.
It's like, oh really? Oh, okay, fine. Well, fuck you. You then, punk.
You on PC? Eat shit. You on Xbox? Eat shit.
But yeah, don't know what else to say about Suicide Squad. We'll just let that corpse rot and
It's okay. I'm sure we'll have another story within the next 2 weeks, and they'll fuck up. They'll find some new way to fuck things up.
alrighty then. Speaking of possibly fucking things up, we have here a story from Ars Technica describing how Discord is starting to do a little experimentation with ads, and I'm kind of scared about that.
Yeah.
So-
So okay. Oh, you wanna talk about this a bit?
No, you can. Yeah. Well, no, I mean, we could talk about it, but you can unveil the story if you want.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
oh, good lord.
Jeez, my neck. Okay. I just gotta. I always gotta stretch because of my gamer posture. Oh. All right. Sorry about that. So we have here, yeah. So like James said, Ars Technica has an article on Discord and how they're sort of going down the path of ads, and it kind of has us all worried. Especially since Discord has been very much anti-ads until this point, but it seems like they're trying to have some kind of a unique twist on ads. So how it is that it's going to be called something called Sponsored Quest, which is something they actually experimented with back in May or last May, where if you streamed Fortnite to your friends for 15 minutes on Discord, you can get like Star Wars themed gear in Fortnite. Mm-hmm. And so it seems like now they're expanding that to everybody through sponsored quests, which are essentially like campaign ads that developers and publishers send to Discord users, where they'll be like, hey, we have this new game coming out, or we have this cool game that we want you to show to your friends, and you'll actually get rewards if you do that. So it seems kind of tied into the Discord streaming, something that James and I are very familiar with each other with, right? Because we like spend a lot of time just streaming each other's games.
Actually, just last night,
yep.
I was working on my personal statement, watching Final Fantasy VI, and it was a pleasant experience.
Yeah, it was really nice. So, I mean, to see Discord delve into this is worrying. Because, I mean, you got to make your money, right? But, it's if we have to worry about, our conversations, being interrupted by ads, or, our streams being interrupted by ads, that it could be a very big problem. Now, the way they frame it in the blog, in Discord's blog, where they explain, the whole thing, they kind of make it seem like it's something that's not going to be very obtrusive, right? It's not going to like get in the way of things, and it's something that you can opt out of. But this is a slippery slope, right? Like once you start doing this, right, other things have a good chance of following. And I'm not going to say, for sure it is going to happen, but there is a very high likelihood. You never know with companies, right? Even if the ones you like, because I like Discord, right? I like Discord. I like their service. I think the stuff the way they monetize stuff is fair for the most part. But this is something that's kind of iffy.
Big emphasis on the IF. Like, this is super concerning. However, yeah, I mean, I know they try to, what's it called, alleviate concerns by saying, oh, users will only, what's it called? They'll only see this if they choose to interact with it. Like, you don't have to interact with the quest if you don't want to. Like, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. It's like, well, YouTube just should be like, oh yeah, you can always skip the ads, and now look where we're at. A lot of ads you cannot skip. So, yeah. Slippery slope indeed. So.
Yeah. You think, I mean, they kind of framed this as, they also another thing they say is that they're kind of doing this to like help developers and publishers, get their game out to like people so they can actually, see it. Like, but man, let's be real. Like, you're just trying to find ways to like increase your value. Like that's kind of what it comes down to, really.
Yeah, bro. And there's other ways, and we've seen it with Baldur's Gate and Helldivers. If your game is good, word of mouth, especially in today's internet age, will get you the attention. Because, dude, I had never heard of Helldivers before Helldivers 2. I didn't even know there was a first one. And then when I saw the first one, I was like, oh shit, like how old is this game? So there are, before I get sidetracked, there are ways to get the word out for your game if it's good enough.
And we have Twitch and we have YouTube and Kick and all these other streaming sites.
Yeah.
Right? Do we really need to add, Discord to the list there?
Yes, and also they have Discord servers for the games themselves that you can just advertise, and people will come take a look and see what the game's about through there, free of charge. So, I don't know, man. And also, just by our friends, like I see you stream games all the time that I've never even seen, Steam demos all the time, and yeah, that's how I learn about games. And if you and I do it, you know damn well that there's people out there that have, our same what's the word? Relationship in that regard where we show each other games and stuff. So there's plenty of ways to do this. So this just seemed like you said, they're using devs as like an excuse to push an ad service, and I don't like it.
No, sir, I don't like it.
No, sir. Well, actually, sir, no, I don't like it very much. Not one bit.
Look at that Ren and Stimpy horse. No, I don't like it.
Yeah, no, I don't like it. Do that horse.
What's the? Oh no, I can't. There is like one Ren and Stimpy that like lives like rent free. One Ren and Stimpy moment that lives like rent free in my head. I don't know if it involves the horse still. I keep forgetting if it involves the horse or something. But they're like, I think it does involve the horse. And like they go to his house, and they're like, "Oh, do you have like this thing?" And he's like, "No, I don't have this thing, right? But I do have this walrus, right?" And he pulls out like a walrus, and for some reason he has like an actual human hand with like a glove on it and stuff. Yeah, dude, and then the walrus is like the most concerned look on his face, and he just looks down at Ren and Stimpy. He's just like, "Call the police." And of course, it's Ren and Stimpy, so they have like the funniest, most over-exaggerated facial expressions possible.
Yes, dude. Right after, actually, I think the horse was like threatening them with some shit.
Yeah, I forgot the full context of it, but I just remember that poor walrus just staring there, pleading for his life.
Yeah.
Call the police.
Dude, that little clip has made its rounds on my meme page one too many times, but every time I see it, it makes me laugh. So it don't matter. Keep making the rounds, guys.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so I will say this: as long as they keep it to where it's optional to engage in these quests, it'll be fine. But we all know a day's gonna come where we're gonna wake up one day and we're like, "Hey, Discord has changed their terms of service," and they're like, "Oh, great! I guess today's the day," and then they'll make them mandatory. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see indeed. All right, so for our next one here, this is something that's actually very interesting because it's shockingly something that hasn't been talked about much. I really haven't seen much of it, but or at least much discussion on it. We have a story here from Game Informer that shows leaked footage of a canceled Nolan Batman game. And apparently this game was in development over at Monolith Productions or Monolith Studios. And if you don't know who that is those is the developers of the Lord of the Rings Shadow of Mordor game and the one that was after that. I don't remember what it was called, but the two Mordor games, right? The one with the Wraith and like you can control the orcs and shit. Yeah, the one that with Nemesis system that WB decided, hey, let's trademark this thing. Let's trademark a fucking game mechanic so no one can use it. Yeah, so apparently before that they were working on a Christopher Nolan Batman game, and it was leaked online through a user named The Geeky Dude. I think, yeah, The Geeky Dude. And with some information they learned from Digino Gaming, Andrew 4586. And if you look through the tweets, right, you can see here. Actually, let me put that up. Yeah. So, yeah, you can see here that they had the Tumblr, they had like an XP system, right?
Yeah.
And it was seemingly open world, because you have like this grid system here, this mini map, right?
Yep.
And the controls here, quests, like there's gonna be like quests and stuff. Tumblr's right there, and then we also have some footage. It's actually my first time seeing this.
Me too. That looks great.
It does. Oh, okay, cool. Some quests. Yeah, you got skill trees there.
ride mechanic.
Yeah, combat skills.
Damn, bro, that's fucking fast.
Yeah, I live at Kirkland Apartments, and across the street it looks like some guys are trying to break in. Sorry, that area of the city is in lockdown at this time. Stay indoors and make your way toward the...
Wow, this is really Arkham before Arkham.
Yeah. I actually wouldn't be surprised if Rocksteady took
Can't get it open.
ideas or assets from this game. Or
Well, actually, no. This turned into
yeah.
a Shadow of Mordor, so they kind of like reworked it into Lord of the Rings.
No, of course, but I wonder if they if Rocksteady grabbed anything from this, or if they had these ideas already, and that if they had these ideas already, and that's why.
Who just beat the shit out of that guy? Jesus Christ!
All right, damn.
I'm just gonna say knock you out. It's a silent knockout, like the most loudest knockout ever.
So much for stealth.
Wow. Okay, that shit looks kind of cool.
Yeah, I would have been down for that, but you know what? I'm glad with the Arkham games that we got.
Yeah, I mean, of course, the Arkham games are amazing, but this we could have gotten Arkham like a good few years before that.
Yeah,
So there's some more footage here.
they have a stealth sequence. You want to see the stealth sequence?
Yeah. Let's see that real quick. Hold on.
I like because the predatory missions are my favorite. The predator missions, sorry, not predatory.
Okay, so yeah,
Like a little training room.
I guess so. Oh, the audio's not even on. Okay. Well, whatever that is, I don't know what the heck that is.
Oh, it's the detective work.
Oh, okay, yeah, I
Go
guess
back.
that was detective work. Yeah, I saw. So, all right, let's see the substance here.
Detective mode.
Why'd they take this guy out?
What, you think mob lawyers don't have families? He had it coming. I bet he wasn't even surprised when it happened.
Cover your mouth!
Oof! Damn. Okay. Crushed though.
The silent glide.
Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah. So they showed off gadgets, or they showed off self sequence, and the last bit of information was that the Nolan vs. Batman game would have been the debut of Monolith's Nemesis system. So.
Yeah, that's what we talked. That's what we talked about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The geeky said this feature was meant to distinguish the game from Rocksteady's Arkham games, despite other shared elements. Oh wait, so was this in development after the Arkham games came out?
No, it was in development with the Arkham games
At the same time.
together.
Wait.
Yes, and that's why WB made the decision. Hey, listen, we can't have two Batman games, so yeah, one of you guys needs to not do that.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Actually, scroll down because I think it was there. Scroll right there.
Oh yeah, I see. I mean, I suppose it was the right decision. It makes sense, but still, like, it's just kind of a shame because it looked kind of cool.
Yeah, and honestly, the Nolan, the Christopher Nolan Batman films are really well regarded. So, and believe it or not, the Batman Begins video game tie-in I heard was not a bad game at all. So this would have like continued that, and they could have had their own little trilogy. But yeah, but like I said, like we said, it was the right decision to make because then you would have been in competition with yourself. So it's like, why do that? But then again, I don't know. Would this game been better than the Shadow of Mordor? Because I've heard very mixed things about those shit. The
No,
Shadow.
people like the games. I think people like those. I didn't really care for it too much when I played it, but I did like the Nemesis system. I thought it was super cool.
Oh,
That was the one thing I really liked about it. But like everything else, because it was pretty much Lord of the Rings, Assassin's Creed,
that's what I've heard as well.
but like with the Nemesis system. So like while playing it, I was like, wow, it'd be really cool if Assassin's Creed had a similar system like this. It would make total sense for them to have something like this, but that never happened because WB likes to trademark mechanics.
Yeah, honestly, even if it was not trademarked, I don't think Ubisoft would have been able to pull something like that off.
Probably not.
So it's okay. It worked out. It worked out. But yeah. All right. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, so that's enough
Then
of
we
that.
did. Then we could have yelled at random people in the game, been like, "All right."
Cough out our fucking growl out our throats. You know what's so funny? It's only the last two movies where he sounded like that. Because you watch Batman Begins, he doesn't do it that hard.
Yeah, it does not do it that hard at all. But then, like in The Dark Knight, bro, he fucking goes hard.
Because
Like-
I remember watching The Dark Knight in theaters. Like the first scene, I'm like, what the fuck did he just say? What?
Yeah.
Like what? Yeah, I had to adjust my ears. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't understand what the hell he was saying. Just like how we don't understand what the hell Phil Spencer is saying.
Yeah.
So for this next story we have, it's actually an interview by Polygon with Phil Spencer, where he discusses Xbox's strategies to expand in the current state of the industry. And, well, I mean, for a while now, like we've been kind of wondering what's been going on in the headspace of Phil, like what's going on with Xbox. And this interview does kind of shed some light on that a bit, but it does kind of point to Xbox going in a worrying direction where they may seemingly are leaving the console space, or at least soft quitting it, right, in some way. So in this interview, first, Phil Spencer talks about how things used to work when budgeting and greenlighting games, which he says the change has kind of contributed to how, the console market has to kind of change. And initially, right, you'd have a publisher, you would set like a sales goal, right? So you want to sell like 800,000 copies. You're like, okay, we're going to expect to sell 800,000 copies, or we want to sell 1 million, or however much. And then you set an earn-out goal, right? How much money they want to make. So like if your game is $70, or yeah, I guess $70, and you want to sell like 1 million copies, right? That's 70 million like raw gross income, like not including expenditures and all that shit.
Yeah.
And then you have the set price of the game, right? So we want to charge $70, we want to charge $50 or whatever. And then from there, the studio makes the budget. And be like, okay, we can do that with this amount of money. But in more recent years, right, we have people buying stuff through all different kinds of storefronts. We have Steam. You have the Epic Game Store. And now we have Xbox Game Pass, right? So we have different services, and then we also have different subscriptions. So it kind of muddies the water a bit about like how do we set our budgets, right? How do we set our goals? At least this is all according to Phil.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, games take a long time to make, dude, and with a lot of people. Like,
Yeah.
I actually found out today that like apparently Dragon Dogma 2 was made with like 300 something people, and apparently that's like really small. I mean, yeah, that's pretty small. But then like you had people like on Reddit like posting like all the credits of like how many people were working on like a certain amount of games. Like Diablo like apparently had almost 9,000 people work on it at some point
Holy
in
crap.
time, right? And then you had
Wow.
like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth had like 3,000 people work on it. A little over 3,000 people work on it. So like, you have all those people, you have to pay all those people money. You have to pay for their services, pay for their salaries and their healthcare and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
and then you wonder why games cost $300 million to make nowadays, including all the the big money you have to spend like on technology and stuff.
Yeah.
So, Spencer points all that stuff out, and then he says that, well, this creates three problems, right? One for big budget games, one for console exclusives, and then one that spans the entire industry, right? So for his first point, he talks about how, because game budgets are getting so big, publishers are becoming more and more risk averse, and so they don't want to invest in new IPs. They kind of just, take the safe bet, invest on IPs that they already know about, and they know are going to be like a guaranteed success. Like in Xbox's case, Xbox. Halo, right? Which I don't know how much of a sure bet that is anymore. Even though they have turned things around, but even then, like Halo Infinite has like stopped post-launch support. I think like a while ago they announced that they're going to stop post-launch support. You're going to start working on a new game, even though Halo Infinite was supposed to be like the 10-year game. So he says, like, where previously games need to sell 100,000 units to justify their costs, new games we now need to sell millions of copies, right? If you're a publisher, you know that's a pretty big number in a world that already has a lot of video games coming out, right? A lot of competition, of course. So how are you going to establish things? Am I willing to take the red on new IP, on a new kind of game, when the risk, or not risk, is that high? I think it impinges on the creativity of this industry, which I don't love. Creativity is like the cornerstone of what we should be about in gaming, right? So that's the first point, right? That's the problem with big budget games. And then for the second point, right, console exclusives, it's a very similar problem with like the big budget games, right? If you spend $300 million, right, you have to make your money back. But what happens when, you only sell to Xbox people?
Yeah.
So you have to, at that point, he says that you have to convert people, right? So you have to get, people who own PlayStations and Nintendos to buy into your game and buy your console. And then for the entire industry, he talks about how the console market hasn't grown in the past year, and that the people who are buying consoles now, or people who buy consoles back then, are probably still the same people who are buying consoles now. And he has an interesting quote here where he says, "You can't succeed unless you draw in customers from other publishers and other platforms. And because we're not finding new customers with the games, you're building everybody's kind of fighting over the same size pie, right?"
Yeah.
So that's kind of like what I said earlier, right? You have to make converts out of people, which Xbox hasn't had the best track record on at this point. Because they've been kind of playing third fiddle to Nintendo and PlayStation for a while. I mean, you got like the Xbox original. I think did pretty well. I think they did better than the GameCube, because the GameCube was kind of a little bit of a slump for Nintendo. But then,
which is surprising.
Yeah, which then the 360 era, right? They did really well, but in the long run, the PS3 I think outsold them, and then we outsold the shit out of both of them. So,
yep.
And then the Xbox One. Okay, we don't talk about the Xbox One, right? Whatever happened to the Xbox One happened to the Xbox One, and now it feels like with the Xbox Series X, that's what they call it now. Yeah, Xbox Series X. This is a fucking stupid naming convention. I think I'm talking about phones here. Like, we're kind of like in this pivot period where they seem to be, changing their strategy around. We're kind of seeing this all in real time. Any thoughts so far?
Well, I mean, so far it's well, the thing he said about just the consoles like haven't been growing. Well, it could just be that, because clearly Nintendo Switch and PlayStation are doing something correct. And again, I think, because they're trying to do a lot of things. They're trying to make consoles, but they're also trying to, make good games. And that's why they bought a bunch of their game studios. But, they haven't really had a good a game that sells. So
yeah, right. Like, when was the last time we had a console seller?
Yeah, dude. Like, it was supposed to be Halo. It wasn't. It was supposed to be Redfall. That wasn't it. And then of course the biggest meh game ever, Starfield. That was supposed to be there. That was supposed to be like this is why you get an Xbox, and it was, well, meh, forgettable. Which, yeah, that doesn't mean it was bad, but it was not what you were supposed to do if you're trying to sell your console. So he can't see, yeah. So he says he can't draw in customers from other publishers and other platforms. It's like, well, it's because the games are better on those other publishers and other platforms. So, you know, I don't know what it is, like he's making a lot of decisions. And honestly, I believe Phil when he says um, that that every decision he makes is for the betterment of Xbox. But he's implementing what I think are long-term solutions that haven't come into fruition yet. But will they make it to that point?
Well, I think I think that's like a discussion we can get into when we get like towards the end, because that's when we start talking about like strategies and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Sorry. My bad.
So,
My bad.
So Polygon then asked him about layoffs and about how the ABK, the Activision Blizzard King layoffs, were part of the wider trend, or if there was something unique about the layoffs in Xbox's case. And he goes and he says, it's a little bit of both, said Spencer, but I'll say the thing that has me most concerned for the industry is the lack of growth, which is something he says a lot, right? Like, this is the second time he mentions growth, and he'll mention it later on in the article. And when you have an industry that is projected to be smaller next year in terms of players and dollars, you get a lot of publicly traded companies that are in the industry that have to show their investors growth, because why else does somebody own a share of someone's stock if it's not going to grow?
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is him kind of saying the quiet part out loud, where it's like, yeah, we kind of have to appease our shareholders. So, like, that's why we lay people off, right? Like a lot of times people kind of bullshit around. They'll be like, oh, it's for survival of the company, right? But like, no, he's saying it like how it is, right? No, like we have to show growth, because that's how the system works, right? We're not going to get investors if they don't see growth year in and year out. And then he goes on to say, we're a business. I said over and over again, I don't get any luxury of not having to run a profitable growing business inside of Microsoft. And we are that today. But just across the industry, you mentioned it. And in sitting here at GDC, right, this interview took place at GDC.
Yes.
The, what was it? The Global Dev Conference, I think?
I have no idea.
I think it's Global Dev Conference.
But it's
a huge conference, though.
Yeah, it's a huge conference.
I reflect on friends of mine in the industry that have been displaced and lost their jobs, and how I don't want this industry to be a place where people can't with confidence build a career. So that's why I keep pivoting back to how does this industry get back to growth. But to your question for us at Xbox or any of the teams that are out there, it really is an outcome of an industry that's not growing. It can grow and it'll grow again, but you see this time right now and the implications of human impact, and we should all reflect on that and think about it. Okay. All right, so there's quite a bit to unpack there, right? Like,
yeah.
So he talks about growth over and over and over again, and how he wants, people to, build careers, and how these layoffs are bad. But isn't like this obsession with growth the reason why we're in this situation in the first place?
Yep.
Right? Like, he even said it, like, in the previous quote, right? Like, the reason why we do this is because we have to grow. But then he goes on to say, well, I don't want these people to lose their jobs, but we have to grow. It's like, dude, that's a conflict of interest there at this point, right? If you need to grow over and over and over and over again, right? Eventually, you're going to have to start cutting the fat. The fat being people's jobs.
Yes.
So, I mean, this is kind of like the never-ending cycle of like publicly traded companies in the video game space, where it's like, oh, we have to grow, right? Oh, but we can't pay all these people. Okay, let's lay them off. Oh shit, we don't have people to build this game, right? We have to hire more people now. Oh shit, we have too many people now. Now we have to lay them all off because we need to grow, right? And it just goes over and over and over again. It's kind of like I don't know if we covered this, but when Sven Vink made a speech, I think at GDC also, where he talked about how the publishers were doing this like over and over and over again, and it frustrated him.
I think we did cover this. Yes.
I think we might have sort of covered it. If not, I feel like we really should have included, because I think it was like this past like few weeks where he did mention that. But he pretty much said yeah, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Go.
No, because he said, like, yeah, I see these people do the same mistake over and over again. They're so obsessed with growth in numbers that they make a game, they blow all this money, and then they go like, okay, well, we need to grow for next year. How do we do that? Okay, let's lay all these people off. And then they go, oh shit, we don't have enough people to build this game. Let's rehire these people now. And then, happens over and over again. And then what ends up happening is we end up losing all this institutional knowledge, right? Like, you have all these people with years of experience working on these games and these engines and knowing how this shit works. And they just leave, right? They're gone out of the industry. And, of course, it's going to affect the impact of the games. Because you have to hire new people, right? You're going to hire people with less experience, people who aren't familiar with your game engine, people who aren't familiar with your production line. And you have to bring them all up to speed. And that slows everything down, right? Now you have to spend time bringing people up to speed. Now your schedule is behind even further. So you have to spend more money rehiring people. You have to spend more money training them. You have to spend more money on people's salaries so that they keep working on the game. So it's any wonder, right? Why these games keep getting more and more expensive and why they take so fucking long to make.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
No, it hit the nail on the head with that, we talked about it at length, and I think mismanagement is probably one of the biggest culprits of what is happening in today's gaming industry. Mismanagement and obsession, like Sven said, with numbers and money, and it really does put a stranglehold on on games in general. That's why it's so cool to see, private companies, because they're not beholden to shareholders, and so they get to actually kind of make the game they want. And you see this with Larian, as well as Valve, but they don't really make games anymore. But whenever they did make games, their main goal was to make games.
Hold on, bro. Half-Life Alyx, man.
Oh, you know what I mean, damn it! Shut up. You know what I mean. And anyone said that that's enough. Anyone who calls that "quote unquote" Half-Life 3, I want to shoot them. It's not Half-Life 3. and they fucking tease it again. You know what? No, I'm not gonna spoil that one. But yeah, dude, fucking, these companies, they're beholden to shareholders that just want to see growth, and it's like, well, you can't grow every year. At some point, you're either going to stagnate or you're going to regress because you can't. It's not sustainable. It is not a sustainable practice. So, it just, there has to be some kind of change in mentality. There has to be there has to be a new way to approach. Honestly, there has to be a new approach when it comes to investing in publicly traded companies that are gaming companies, because they can't survive on these rules. They can't survive on these rules alone. There has to be a unique way to handle gaming companies if they're publicly traded, and there has to be a different set of expectations on the investors' side. But if they can't handle that, if they can't, and honestly, it's on the fault of the investor as well, because they should know that the gaming industry is volatile as fuck, and no, it's pretty much it. I don't know what else to say about that point.
Yeah. Well, he goes on to say, right. He goes on to say, another quote here: consider 2 years of lack of growth in the gaming industry at the top line. You start to ask yourself, well, I don't want to grow at the expense of the industry. I want to grow as part of the industry. And what do we need to do as an industry to get back on the growth path? So again, it's so frustrating here. You could get so close to the point and then he just misses it. He has the right idea, but he comes to the wrong conclusions.
I think, I don't know if it's on purpose. I mean, it might be on purpose because, like I said, this man has been beholden to shareholders for his entire time that he's worked there. So I think he knows exactly. I think so, because Phil is not dumb. He's a smart dude, but of course you can't outwardly say oh yeah, shareholders investing in gaming companies is fucking stupid. It's like the points that we were making. But so I think he's trying to hint at it as strongly as possible without outright saying it. You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, it's just all like go on. Yeah. So I mean, then he goes on to talk about future strategies, right? Where he comments that I will say every decision we make today and tomorrow is for the better of Xbox. I know sometimes things get weaponized. There's some evil in the background that's making us do things. Phil hates exclusive, and that's why we're like PlayStation and Switch now. Every decision we make is to make Xbox stronger in the long run. It doesn't mean everyone's going to agree with every decision to make, but it is fundamental for how we make decisions. And then when he comments about what Xbox is doing going forward, this notion that Xbox can only be this one device that plugs into a television isn't something we see in the Gen Z research, because nothing else is like that for them. Some of them have an iPhone, some of them have an Android, but all the games and everything is the same. I can still see TikTok on both of them, at least for now. All their stuff is available wherever they want. So for Xbox, our brand pivot as we attract and maintain relevance with our younger audience is Xbox is a place where I can find the greater games I want to.
yeah. And that's what I made a point of this earlier, but I got ahead of myself. But yeah, so like I said, I think Phil's a smart dude. I think he knows. So I think he's trying to walk that line and appease shareholders while not having to screw people over. But so he's trying his best, but you know, I don't, you know, they may not get to that point where all of these long run ideas will come into fruition. There may be a chance that Xbox kind of collapses a little bit because before they get to that point, just because they've made a lot of not very good decisions, you know, leading
They
up
made
to
a
this.
lot of not very good decisions.
I'm trying to be kind because I feel bad for Phil a little bit. You know, he's not a doucher, at least from what we've seen so far. So I'm trying to have good words for him. But yeah, dude, they have not made barely any good decisions. Like you have an easier time counting their good decisions on one hand, and yeah. So I believe him when he says that he wants the better for Xbox, but it's gonna get way worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
Because as I've probably said before, or I know I've said it before, but there might be a crash in gaming because some of these companies are getting a little bit too big, and you can only fire so many people before you have to, finally report, oh, we're not growing, and you can't, and then you have like a fucking skeleton crew. So it's like, oh well, there's no more fat to trim. I guess we're just gonna have to report a negative for this quarter type shit. And I think that'll happen across the board, but specifically with Xbox because they're like the big one, especially since they've gobbled up everything, including Activision Blizzard. It's yeah, it's gonna get worse before it gets better. And they may make it. We'll see.
I mean, the thing I find worrying is when he says that, I mean, I like you, like I believe him when he says that every decision we make is better, every decision we make is for the better of Xbox. But is that better for us as gamers, as like the audience, right? Because this is the thing that's happening, right? Like the Xbox and Microsoft is kind of leaving, soft quitting, as I said earlier, like kind of soft quitting the console space. And like, do we really want Sony and Nintendo to have a duopoly on like the gaming market and the gaming console market, like especially with all their exclusives and stuff, right?
Well, so I mean, I'm kind of going back to like,
well, really Sony in this case, actually, because Nintendo does their own thing. Like Nintendo doesn't give a fuck. Like Nintendo does their own fucking thing at this point. But like it's kind of like it feels like they're kind of softly throwing in the towel, and it's just very worrying because the last thing we want is for Sony to have like the de facto monopoly on like hardcore gaming consoles, right? Because like I said, Nintendo's like doing their own fucking thing, so it just leaves It just leaves PlayStation at this point. And, monopoly's never good for anybody, right? Or even pseudo monopolies in this case, right? A pseudo monopoly is not good. We want competition, right? You want these people to like put each other's feet in the fire, to push each other, to better serve the customers, because that's what competition does.
Yes, absolutely. So I will say, I know a lot of the wording says that Xbox is taking a step back from consoles, but I don't think they're soft quitting, because I think what they're doing is they're kind of cutting back on consoles because they see that a lot of their player base is actually on PC. That's already and a lot of the PC gamers they already have Windows shit. So I think they're gonna try more, like I think we discussed it when the Xbox leaks came out. Which, by the way, go check the episode out because we went into real detail about everything, because that was like probably one of the biggest leaks in gaming history. It showed
They're all digital future, which is another thing I'm a little concerned about.
Yes, but worrying for different reasons.
Yeah,
However, but they are trying their best to make their games more available on more platforms so that they can sell to more people while not having to produce a console for them to play on. So they can cut back on production costs for the Xbox and still sell their games to to their digital customers. So that's a good idea. I don't know how they're going to do it. I've theorized that they're going to do some weird satellite cloud thing, because for some reason they think cloud gaming is like that's it.
Yeah,
like,
we still don't even know what the hell that's going to look like.
Yes, dude. Like, we were literally pulling ideas out of our ass trying to see how the fuck that can happen. So there's that. As far as Sony's concerned, I'm not too worried because they've started to bring more of their games to like PC, and that to me tells me that I think they're also experiencing the same problem, because they're realizing like, okay, like gaming consoles are getting very, very expensive. Games themselves are now going up in price. So and especially in these trying times, people are very, 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 very selective about what they're going to spend their money on, and games are no exception. So even if they are the monopoly, quote unquote, they still have to make adjustments to the PC crowd, which they have been. They're doing it at a very slow pace, but it's happening. And I think it will continue to happen, especially especially once they start to see how much profit there is in it. It'll start to become more commonplace. So I think, especially, and we see it now, console exclusives are a dying breed. So soon there will be no more console exclusives, and that will pave the way for more profit for them, which will then incentivize them to not, gatekeep so much crap. And as far as Nintendo is concerned, well, I mean,
Nintendo's Nintendo.
Yeah, but Nintendo, you can trust that they will make a great game. If it's Mario, or if it's Zelda, or if it's the new Smash, or if it's fucking Animal Crossing. Dude, I was never an Animal Crossing person, and I have New Horizons, and that shit slaps. I love New Horizons. And Mario Kart. So they have a firm grip. They have a firm enough grip that won't subscribe to a monopoly. So that won't, relegate Sony to the de facto, gaming console experience, even though it may seem that way.
Well, I'd say the only key difference between how Sony handles their exclusives and on PC and how Microsoft does it is Sony does it well after the game launches on the console they want you to buy it on. So, like, if you're an early adopter, right, or if you're just a console-only player, you still have a reason to buy a PlayStation 5 or a PlayStation 4, right? This case, they got PlayStation 5, right? Xbox, they just say, fuck it. We're just going to release on everything, right? At the same time. So then it's like, well, then why do I why do I care about buying an Xbox in the first place? I can play literally everything from this day one.
Yes. Yeah, so I guess that's true too. However, you got to remember that all of the console exclusives for PlayStation are all bangers, and Xbox exclusives, well, we've already discussed those and why they're immediately heading to another console. So, but again, eventually people will not care about exclusivity and they'll be like me, perfectly willing to wait a year, and then that will eat into their sales because you can only because exclusivity really, I think, uh people that are rabid fans of a game and of a console, those are the people that will always drive money towards the product. So like, God of War Ragnarok, the Spider-Man games, all that crap. Those are like your core fan base, your fans that will always be the day one adopters, but you can only milk so much money out of them. And there's such a small percentage, but they know that they're going to get the money from them, so they want to squeeze them dry. It's kind of sad, and then they'll move on. But after a while, I think that population will become smaller and smaller to the point where it won't be worth it to milk them dry. So they'll have to just get rid of the exclusivity idea entirely. But that's just a theory. But I think that that's what will happen, and I think it'll happen soon, or at the very least, it'll be exclusive for like the first 6 months, and then it will come to PC kind of deal instead of 3 years.
Well, I mean, they also did say that their live service games are all going to be cross play from the day one. So like Helldivers, for example.
Which, by the way, great idea. Cross-play multiplayer games.
Yeah, they made perfect sense.
I think, but of course, even though it makes sense, these suits, they want results. They want the profit to show that it's a good idea. And I think Helldivers more than exceeded their expectations. So I think this will be a standard going forward, and I'm very happy about that.
What, it was like 242,000 on just Steam alone? That's not even including PlayStation.
Yeah. Actually, is there a way to see well, wait, can we see PlayStation player counts?
There are aggregates, but they're not terribly reliable.
They're not as accurate as Steam charts?
They're guesstimations.
Oh, okay. All right, then. Well, we could even do the conservative. Let's just do the conservative.
I mean, Steam charts in and of itself is also a guesstimation, but I think it's easier to find it out on Steam than it is on a console, since consoles are so close-ended.
That is true. Well, let's see. Actually, can you see the all-time player count for Helldivers? Let me see. Where do I go? Do I go to?
Well, while you look that up, we can probably hop over to our next story.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this next one's a bit of a doozy, man, because. So this is because this is an entire expose, man.
I'm not gonna lie. This will probably be. I will probably contribute very little because number one, I have not played any Life is Strange games. I know nothing about the characters, the story, nothing, and also like you said, it was really dense. So I had a hard time reading this article. But yeah, that's my disclaimer. So if it looks like I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, more than usual, then more than usual, and then you know why.
Well, I mean, luckily it's actually pretty straightforward. It's just a lot of information, but we have here an expose on IGN talking about the toxic work environment that's been going on in Deck 9 and how that environment has been festering for years. And for those of you who don't know who Deck 9 is, they are the current developers for the latest Life is Strange game that came out in 2019, I believe. There's a subtitle for it, but again, I don't remember. It's more like the Asian-looking girl on it.
With the colored hair. She has blue hair, right?
No, that's the original game.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
original game. Those are the first games.
Right.
This is like a new one,
Great.
right? Because
I'm starting off. I'm starting off
you're already fucking up already, bro.
Good thing I put that disclaimer. But continue.
So yeah, True Colors. There we go. Fucking True Colors. It's called Life is Strange True Colors. I'm gonna highlight that shit so I don't forget. Yeah. So apparently there's been there's been stories making the rounds about what's been happening over in Deck 9. They have found like hidden Nazi and white supremacist symbology inside their assets for one of their undeveloped games. They've had trouble with a narrative designer who was kind of a creep and also very combative. They also had, management sheltering abusers and giving women a hard time and not giving them proper promotions. It's a lot here, but before we get into the actual details, right, of what's been going on over in Deck 9, the actual history of Deck 9 is that they were actually a studio called Idle Minds in 1997. And for a while, they worked on PlayStation games with such classics as Cool Borders 3, Rallycross 2, and Neopets: The Dark Fairy. I'm sorry, The Darkest Fairy, right? And then they also assisted on multiple Ratchet & Clank games. And then they became a mobile company in the early 2000s. And then eventually they became Deck 9 in 2017. Which during that time, when they came out as Deck 19, they decided they were going to work on narrative games. And they actually had a proprietary engine and tool set called StoryForge that allowed them to do that. And this was kind of where they started their relationship with Square Enix. So Life is Strange is owned by Square Enix, but the developers for the Life is Strange originally is Don't Nod. But Don't Nod left the series in 2018 after working on Life is Strange 2, in which case then Deck 9 took over. And then they worked on Life is Strange True Colors in 2021 and Life is Strange Remastered Collection in 2022. So, in this article, Deck 9's first crack at Square Enix's popular narrative series involved significant crunch, right? So already we're beginning with problems. One anonymous individual told me they worked 70, 80 hours for an entire month straight on True Colors. And then other people also said that they took on weeks of crunch to protect party members. And it was never mandated, but there was always too much to get done in a lot of time because, as we're going to hear later on, there's a lot of unrealistic deadlines that were being set. And as a result, many people had to crunch for endless hours in order to actually get the game out on time.
More crunch. What a surprise.
Yeah, and apparently, according to sources, a lot of the crunch was the result of Deck 9's management being shit and not really, protecting the employees from Square Enix. Sorry, guys, I'm watering with a lot of talking now.
Yes. Hydrate.
So this was reflected in the production schedules, which ended up with really tight deadlines and small budgets. So you had producers being forced by their boss in Square Enix to rework the entire schedule so that they could fit their milestones within a certain period of time, even though the producers were like, hey, we can't do this, right? And Square Enix I don't give a fuck, do it. So that's kind of the first part, right, where management and Square Enix are kind of screwing over these employees. There was also Square Enix was being very hands-on to the game, and multiple employees remarked how Square Enix was we don't want this game to be the gay game. What? Okay. Because Life is Strange, right? I probably should have explained what Life is Strange is. So Life is Strange it's like a Telltale game, like a narrative based game. It's like a choose your own adventure game. And the cast of characters is prominently characters that are gay, bisexual, transsexual, characters of, the LGBTQ community or people of minority identity. So people of color as well are also included in that. It's it's kind of the whole game's identity, right?
Yeah.
It's it's supposed to be this progressive game with progressive theme and progressive characters. And then you got Square who'd be like, no, you can't do that, right? Don't be that. Don't be gay. That's gay. That's what Richard said. Yeah, so you have Square Enix putting a lot of pressure on them, management not doing a very good job at covering them. And so one of the sources that are actually named is Mallory Littleton, who is a narrative designer, and she quoted saying, "Even our press guides from Square Enix, right? This is her talking about Square Enix and about how like they didn't want the game to be the gay game. She says, even in our press guides from Square Enix, all the way up until review copies were out, we were not to say anything about Alex's sexuality. Alex is bisexual, period at all. And then they did the advanced copies, and all these reviews came out saying how amazing it was to finally see an explicitly bi protagonist. And after that, Square was like, "Ha, just kidding. Alex absolutely canonically 100% bisexual, right?" and most of this, by the way, was directed at Square Enix London or England, the English branch, right? A lot of the complaints were directed towards them. So they were like, "Oh, hey, right? Don't talk about the character being bi." "Oh, you got good reviews?" "Oh, yeah, no, bro, she's totally 100% bi," right?
Wow, that good press must have smelled really good for these people.
Yeah, right. And I'm sure these are the same people that are like, "Let's put rainbow colors on our logo in June." We're so supportive of our LGBTQ community.
Except in the Middle East.
Yeah, unless you're in the Middle East, right?
Then it's just a regular logo.
Yeah, it's just regular. Yep. And so, so you have that, right? Managers not, helping Square Enix set more realistic deadlines so the employees can actually work in peace. Then you have Square Enix being like, "You can't be gay." And then, "No, the character isn't gay. Okay, the character is gay. Okay." Then on top of all that, you have complaints of low pay, people not getting promotions, people getting crunched, right? And, management just letting toxic behavior go absolutely rampant, right? There's actually accounts of sexual harassment, bullying, transphobia, toxic work culture that multiple individuals cooperated. And then, more specifically, multiple people spoke about how a senior programmer would frequently make sexist remarks and crude jokes to people, and that this guy was just never reprimanded until like one day HR was like, "Oh no, we're just gonna move his desk over to like the side." I'm sorry, management, not HR. Management was like, "We're just gonna push his desk to the corner so that way he can't hear people can't hear his jokes," right? That was their solution. Eventually the guy was let go, but yeah, that took a while. And then you have an instance where every woman that spoke in the article, they said they had at least one story of them being poorly treated or harassed, right? Or they had to fight like really hard for promotions. Yeah. And this is where the second named source in the article, Madeline Tate, who is a former producer, says that we're usually treated as a marketing or PR asset, and that's how higher up sees us. So now you have, women being treated as just like PR assets, right? Like, "Oh, look at us. Look how diverse we are," right? We're kind of go in on that a little bit when we go into the actual responses, because the responses are like the generic boilerplate. Like, "Oh, we're so diverse and wonderful.
Yeah.
We always do the best to protect our employees." These companies always throw it out there. Any comments so far? Because I still got a ways to go, dude.
No, keep going, because it sounds it sounds like it's heading in the direction that I think it's heading. So, I mean, I already kind of know, but it just sounds like harassment from management because they're women, and stuff like that, and also just standard oppression of females at the workplace.
Yeah. No titty milk stealing though.
You know what? Good for them. They didn't stoop that low.
No titty milk thieves in the Deck 9 offices. That's good to know.
I think well, I don't know if this happened before or after Blizzard, but I think they just decided, you know what, let's not be pregnant around these people.
Probably a good idea. Just don't be pregnant. Don't have sex. Don't sign that SCO1 form.
No, do not. Do not sign.
Yeah, so one person, the number one, the person who would probably say is public enemy number one, in the Deck 9 office was the narrative director and the eventual CCO, Zach Garris, who worked on two Life is Strange game. He worked on Before the Storm, which was a prequel, and then he worked on True Colors as well. So for this guy's allegations, apparently he was forming close relationships with a number of young women, and he was love bombing them, sending them texts all the time, talking about, hey, how you doing and stuff, and trying to take them to movies and dinners and going out to drink, or even invite them to his house after work. And well, it's not a good thing to do, right? It's not a good look.
Yes, not a good look at all.
So you have women accusing him of, being very inappropriate with them. And then the women were like, yeah, I don't know if I can say no to this guy because he's kind of my boss, right? Complete lopsided power dynamics here, where you have some guy, pushing his weight around, being like, hey, so you want to go to dinner with me? I'm your boss, by the way. I'm the narrative director. You wanna play some pool? I'm the narrative director, by the way. Wanna come to my house? I'm the narrative director. So then several of those I spoke to reported numerous incidents of him lashing out against those who disagreed with him, right? So he was very much a man who didn't take no for an answer, and that was reflected not only in his approach to women, but also in his approach to co-workers as well. So Tate, who I mentioned earlier, recalled that she was reprimanded for criticizing Garrus' reluctance to allow women in his scripts to express anger. So apparently Garrus didn't like women in his stories being mad. And when Tate was like, hey, maybe we should let women be angry, he was like, no, or reprimanded her however he reprimanded her. I don't know how.
No.
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 And then Garrus would say that he didn't think representation mattered because he didn't necessarily identify with every white man protagonist, and so other people should identify with characters because they look the same. Which is a very strange thing to say when you're working on a Life is Strange game. Because, like, the whole point of the game is to be like, hey, like, we're going to represent all these minority people in our story.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, again, very strange. And then others recalled being reprimanded by Garrus for asking questions about the removal of a transgender character from True Colors that took place fairly deep in development. And then two sources say that when the Deck 9 social team wanted to post something in support of Black Lives Matter, Garrus pushed back and called them a hate group. Then multiple people also said that Garrus fought hard for a twist on True Colors' final choice that a number of writers pointed out included a problematic portrayal of migrant workers. Then several sources also say that in a meeting he pushed back on people's decisions because they were too hung up on political ideologies, and asked everyone present to go around the room and list their political affiliations.
That's pretty inappropriate, but okay.
Who'd you vote for?
Who did you vote for? It's like, yeah, no, I'm not. I am definitely not telling. Fuck you. Get out of here.
And there was actually one big story moment in True Colors where Alex, the main character, was taken to the woods by Jed, who she thought was a friend, and Jed tried to shoot her, and then she ended up falling into a mine shaft. However, in Garrus' version, Jed spikes her drinks and then takes her to the woods before he tries to kill her.
Oh,
and
okay.
so, like, a number of people were like, hey, it's kind of like date rape, bro. And he's like, but the story. And so,
well, I mean, nah, you can't. It's not. Nah, I'm not even gonna try. Not even gonna try.
You're gonna try what?
Well, I was gonna try to explain it. Like, if his point was to show Jed to be a fucking creep that would do something like that, then. But I guess it probably would have been a little bit too hardcore, Because I'm not gonna lie, dude, scenes like that, or just the thought of it, like even when it happens off screen to people, like in movies and shit, it's like not. It's rough. It's a rough thing, and it has to be handled properly. So the women were like, "Yeah, no, let's not do that." But then again, I don't know this character. I don't know if that's like what his character's about. So.
Well, apparently it took him 3 hours to get him to decide not to do it.
Only 3 hours.
Yeah, it took them 3 hours of them sharing personal stories of being like, "Hey, we should include this because of this, this, and this," right? And then women talking about their experiences of date rape and stuff before he finally went, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't include this."
Okay. Well, at least he was receptive, even though it did take 3 hours.
Well, Littleton, who I also mentioned is the first name source, she said that, well, it wasn't necessarily about not wanting to have difficult topics in there, but Life is Strange shines because the type of content is chosen extremely deliberately and it's given runway, it's given space to breathe. This detail is irrelevant to the plot. It would have been traumatic for players and there is no space to unpack it. We don't have time to talk about what it means for Alex to be roofied by a man she trusted. So, I mean, based on this quote, it seems like it kind of came out of nowhere. So, like, it's like how you said earlier, like this guy was like a creep. Like, there probably was no build up to it.
Okay, that makes sense then.
So then they were like, okay, why do we need to do this? It's shock value for the sake of shock value.
Yeah, which makes no sense, especially with
you're
something like that.
You're just gonna trigger a bunch of people.
Yes, bro, for no reason. If it would have been in line with his character, and you like dropped hints that he would have been the type to do it, and then he goes and does it, that would have been different.
And so, another anonymous source recalled that Garrus pushed back and said that the pushback over the scene was only occurring because he was making a game about a woman, and that he wouldn't have to deal with this if he was making a game about Nathan Drake.
Oh. Okay.
So. Yeah, we had news about Nathan Drake. Well, I mean, Nathan Drake's it's an action game, bro. It's like, why are you gonna be roofing Nathan Drake?
Yeah. Or why would Nathan Drake be roofing anybody? Like, what the hell? Yeah.
Okay. And then Tate also said that she repeatedly went to HR about his behavior, about Garrus' behavior, and they were like, try to see things from his perspective is what they said, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then you have a source that was actually closer to leadership saying that they were aware that Garrus had been instructed by HR to stop talking to young women about dinner, but he did not, right? So even after being reprimanded, he kept doing what he was doing. And yeah, like everyone just didn't seem to really like this guy that much.
Yeah.
And then Deck 9 implemented an anonymous performance evaluation tool, and that's where he got a lot of complaints.
Yep.
And yeah, and then sometime afterwards, Garrus quit it voluntarily. But they were like, management was like, oh, maybe we can bring him back for this other game we're working on. Wow, okay, dude. So then once news of that happened, a bunch of people were like, yeah, I'm gonna quit like if you bring this guy back. Like, and they and because they were so insistent on it, people actually like gave him resignation letters.
Yes.
I mean, dude, if you're at the point where people are willing to quit over someone coming back, maybe you shouldn't hire them back.
Yeah.
And so that's when HR steps in. HR allegedly suggested that Deck 9 could be legally liable for Garrus' behavior if they invite him back in after the bevy of reports. So that was when they were like, okay, well, we don't want to get sued, right? Suing bad, right? And so only after under the threat of being literally sued, they finally realized. But see, it wasn't the last I saw of Garrus because he actually landed a job over at Telltale Games, who was working on a game together with Deck 9. So this is a few months after he left the Deck 9 company, and he came back, and they were all of a sudden, they were working back together again. Fuck, right? Now, I don't think it really says like what happened to him afterwards, but there was some stories about like how he would meet with people, like meet with a lot of development staff like at his house and stuff. But according to Telltale, like that was kind of standard at the time because it was during the pandemic, so people would meet at each other's houses pretty frequently to like talk about the game and stuff.
Yeah.
But now we have actually Garrus responding to this stuff. So he says that he did mentor many women, but he also mentored many men as well, and he never offered any promotions, but he did support the promotion process. He also says Nick Knight was very close and often attended lunches, dinners, drinks, movies, and other engagements together, and that he hosted get-togethers at his home a few times. But he also invited females and males, and that his 73-year-old mother was with him all the time. So.
Damn. Okay.
Because his mom lives with him, so he's like, "It's okay, you know, my mom's there. It's not weird." He also says he never engaged in any aberrant behavior. Right, and then we have one of his quotes here, which is very interesting. "In all of my career, I have never worked with writers who are as creatively inflexible, antagonistic towards difference, or less inclined to listen or compromise as a select few of this group. The work on True Colors prior to his presence on the team was so poor. The team, I'm sorry, that was the quote."
Yeah.
Then Garrus claims that the work on True Colors prior to his presence on the team was so poor that the game was under real threat of cancellation when I returned, and that at a certain point he chose to reduce the influence of certain members. He claims that as a result, their conduct became unprofessional, more antagonistic, accusatory towards me of toxicity that, from the perspective of many people in the studio, was in actuality a result of their behavior. No, it's you. It's not my fault I'm toxic. You're toxic, right? Yeah, he also says he doesn't remember calling BLM a hate group. He also said that he made every effort to handle discussion of the exclusion of trans characters with kindness and care. Okay. And then he denies that the rejected story angle regarding migrant workers was harmful. And he said the team was divided on Alex being roofied. And he also says that many of the complaints in the evaluations were insignificant, and that the majority of the feedback was positive. Right. So then, after all that, at the end of the article, the employees were like, "Oh, cool, Garrus is gone. Right, we're gonna have a great and bright future." And then 2022 hit. And that was when people began to notice, hey, there's some racist stuff in our game. What the fuck? So, for the currently in-developed Life is Strange game that has been not announced yet, apparently there was a room for a current character that had a lot of racist memorabilia in it that wasn't supposed to be there, including references to the shit meme, apparently, which is a racist meme. Which actually, I was a little confused by it at first, so I actually did look into it. Because when I think I think, The Wire, right? But it's actually not The Wire. It's a reference to The Wire, but the meme itself has like a kind of a stereotypical looking black guy, cartoonish. Think of the most stereotypical cartoonish looking black dude of
like Japanese cartoonish.
No, like Sambo almost looking shit.
I have to look it up later.
So like big ass lips and stuff, and the punchline is always that he goes shit, right? But apparently there was references of that. There was also the number 88, which was found. The symbol of 88 was found in the room as well, which number 88 is actually a white supremacist.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Okay. Yeah. Honestly, damn. I actually. That word makes me think of South Park. You remember the TSA episode where Cartman kidnaps a TSA agent and blocks the camera and shit, and then they go to the TSA representative for a comment, and it's literally a black woman, and then she just goes. I thought it was a reference to that. I'll send you the clip later.
Oh, okay. I'll probably remember when you show me.
Yeah, you probably think that was one of the best episodes. So
I have to check your asshole, sir.
You gotta check your asshole. So anyway, continue. Racist meme.
Yeah, and then you have the number 88, right, which is associated with white supremacists because the 8th letter in the alphabet is H, so it's Heil Hitler, HH, number 88. All right, it's a secret symbol among white supremacists that they pass along each other.
For real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, there was a Steamboat Mickey game that got in trouble because of that too, because it was called Steamboat 88 or something like that. And people were like, "Hey, that's a white supremacist thing." Like, "Oh shit, okay, let's take this off."
Oh well, they didn't know, and they changed it.
Yeah, they were
so-
like, "Oh, sorry, we didn't know," and then they changed. I don't know what they changed it to, but
Steamboat 69. I really hope that was the. But
but there was also the number 18, which apparently also has ties to white supremacists. There was also the Hagel rune, which was a symbol used in Nazi Germany to signify devotion to Nazi philosophy. That was also found in the rune. And so this was
Wasn't,
found over and over and over again, right?
I thought it was a swastika that was like the
There's
Nazi
many.
Germany.
They use a lot.
Oh.
I actually looked it up. There's actually a lot of like runic language that the Nazis used to like symbolize different things. I mean, obviously the swastika is like the big one.
Yeah,
Right.
but what? Why number 18 though? Why is that? Because this is new to me, by the way. I didn't know that.
I actually don't know number 18. I actually did not look into it. I looked into 88, but not 18. 18 is a white supremacist alphanumeric code for Adolf
Oh.
Hitler. Ah, okay, yeah. So it's like the same thing.
Same thing
one-
for 88.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So like, first letter A, eighth letter H, Adolf Hitler. Okay.
Yeah.
So at first, people were like, this could have been a mistake, right? But this kept happening over and over and over again. And as they removed the assets from it, they kept reappearing, but like altered. And management, of course, like took forever to like investigate the issue and like
Yeah.
remove it. So during that whole time, right? They're like, oh, like it's okay, we'll remove it, right? And then like weeks go on by, nothing's removed,
Yeah.
and then it just comes back again anyways. And so one anonymous source points out that given the particular fan base Life is Strange serves, having imagery like this seemed like a recipe for certain disaster. Like, no shit. Can you imagine there's some fucking lesbian or something, and you just see the 88 on there, you're some black lesbian, you see 88, you're like, what the fuck is this shit? Heil Hitler and shit. So yeah, to put that in this game feels particularly targeted, says the source. It feels like a way to say you don't get to have this either. It's not a little thing. If it's meant as a joke, it doesn't matter. It reads the same. And so finally, at the end of August of 2022, the CEO was like, all right, guys, we finally took them all out. But we pulled an investigation on it, and we concluded that it was not intentional. Totally not intentional, right? And then in response, Mark Lyons, the CEO, speaking of, implemented a bunch of anti-speech policies, but apparently like that still hasn't been implemented yet, even to this day.
Oh,
And
crap.
so yeah, the article like just ends on some lasting notes where like the employees are like, this probably shouldn't have taken as long as it did.
Yeah.
And that's how that goes. And then of course you have their response.
Yeah, cookie cutter
With that
response.
cookie cutter response. We care very much about our employees. Like you can already imagine it. Like I don't even have to tell you what it is. And you can
Yeah,
imagine
you don't gotta. Yep, you don't gotta tell me. This probably the same. They're probably gonna reuse that same speech when June comes around. So no, I don't care. I don't care what the suits have prepped.
And so the final thing the article mentions is that Deck Nine was hit with a bunch of layoffs in 2023, and then they lost some projects, and because of that, they had to get even more layoffs. And now they're kind of stuck with Life is Strange because like it's literally the only thing that's going to keep them afloat. So they want to work on other things, but they're kind of trapped working the Life is Strange salt mines. Yeah, and even though leadership took pay cuts, like they still had to cut people out. So
Oh wow, at least leadership took pay cuts. That's like almost never heard of. So honestly, kudos to that. That's actually good. I like that.
So yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing, right? So you have Square Enix being like, hey, don't be gay. Then you have management being like, hey guys, we need you to make this game in like 6 months. And then you have Zach Garris being weird and creepy. And then you got layoffs. And then you got sexual harassment and the whole shebang. So yeah, it seems like Deck Nine is not a great place to work.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a woman or you're gay or like anything that's not, a typical dev, which is probably like, middle-aged white dude.
Middle-aged nerd.
Yep. So any comments? Because I've been speaking like the entire fucking time, dude.
Well, dude, like I said, like it was dense and just women and minorities and LGBTQ people getting the short end of the stick. So there really isn't much to say. However, I will say I do know that there are other racist memes, like the number 88, the number 18, and the
Well,
Let me see
those
the-
aren't memes. Those are just symbols amongst
wait, Hegel.
the Hegel rune.
Oh, that's an asterisk. No, except the line across the
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, there's actually a whole Wikipedia on like racist, I mean, sorry, not racist, like Nazi runes and symbology that I found.
Yeah. I looked at some of them. Sweet. All right, cool, excellent. Well, I learned a lot. However, that shit one, yeah, I think I don't know. That one is the only one that I would say is kind of like, but in conjunction with the other like Nazi imagery, it probably was meant to offend. So
Yeah, especially working on Life is Strange game.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, did they ever? I don't think they caught the person doing that, or if that was there like for the longest time.
There's no mention of it in the article, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, someone had to put it there. And it sure as hell wasn't the the devs that are working on it, or the narrative team or whatever. So yeah. No, it's pretty much it. It shouldn't happen. I know that it's a pretty charged topic, especially amongst gamers. The whole thing about LGBTQ representation and women, and stuff like that. But since this game is specifically made for that population, like, come on, dude, stop.
They deserve games too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're all
Yeah,
gamers
dude.
in the end, man.
Yeah, dude, we're all gamers in the end, and we just want to play some games. And yeah,
Which, speaking of playing some games, this is a long episode, by the way.
why? What are we out? Holy shit! Okay. Damn, we've been talking for so long.
I know, right?
It's fine though.
This is gonna be our
I just
longest
feel bad.
episode, by the way. I know.
Yay!
Yeah, it's our longest
Congratulations!
episode. Woo!
Woo! I'm sorry to the audience if we've been like making you wanna, slit your wrist, but.
But all right,
we love you for sticking with us.
we just got 2 more to go, man.
Come on,
We
almost
got,
there.
we
Let's
got,
go.
we got, yeah, these two should be quick, right? So we have our next story, IGN, where Saber Interactive CEO has confirmed that the KOTOR remake is, quote, alive and well. Woo!
Yes, I cannot be more happy with this news.
Yeah, so the KOTOR remake, which was announced in 2021, was confirmed by Saber Interactive CEO. Oh shit, Matthew Karch. I didn't highlight his name. I should highlight it. Matthew Karch to be indeed still in development, and that it is in Saber Interactive's hand as a result of the Embracer deal, which we did cover last episode. Apparently, the game was in development for 3 years with Aspire. And thank God they took it out of Aspire's hands, because if the Battlefront
Yes.
collection is any indication of the quality that remake was going to be, then thank the Lord. But Matthew Karch is quoted saying, "It's clear and obvious that we're working on this. It's been in the press numerous times. What I will say is the game is alive and well, and we're dedicated to making sure we exceed consumer expectations."
Indeed.
Hooray! Finally, some good Star Wars gaming news, dude.
Yes, bro.
It feels like it's been
Oh,
so long.
It has been a very long time. So
Now
I'm
we
very
just
happy.
need the game to just not suck. They just don't suck.
No, I'm sorry, dude, but this may be potentially upsetting news, but this is another Starfield situation. Like how long we've waited for this game and how long we suffered for it. This game has to literally blow everything out of the water. It's another Starfield situation that it needs to absolutely wow. And luckily, they already have the story. They just need to update the gameplay. which I think totally can be done. Again, take inspiration from Baldur's Gate, please. Please.
We'll see if they do that. We don't know what direction you're going to take it in. It could be literally freaking anything. But at least we know it exists still, and we will hopefully get it one day if they don't run into any more snags. Which I hope they don't.
No snags, please.
Please no snags. We need more Star Wars RPGs.
Indeed.
All right, well, that covers that. So we have our final topic to discuss. So, leading on with Star Wars, we have the Star Wars Outlaws trailer, which just came out earlier today. And for those of you who don't know, it is the latest Ubisoft game that will be coming out later this year, as it has a confirmed release date of August 30th. It was supposed to come out earlier this year, I think. Yeah, it was supposed to come out like May of this year until they got pushed back. And it is an open world game, just like any other Ubisoft, but obviously with Star Wars in it. And, we're going to be able to see the trailer because this is a story trailer here, so we're going to get a feel for what kind of story it's going to be, get a feel for the characters. And this is our first time seeing it, so let's give it a watch.
Star Wars Outlaws pre-order available now.
All right. So, what do we think?
What's wrong with her face?
What's wrong with her face? What's wrong with her face? Whoa, hold on.
No, go back. Wait. Okay. She got a butt chin. Sorry.
That's not.
Dude,
butt chin.
No, bro, and also her fucking jawline, like, it was, not gonna lie, it was pretty fucking jarring.
Okay. So I'm like, oh, what's wrong with her face? I'm like, what do you mean what's wrong with her face? Oh, something's pretty shot. Oh, I mean, besides that, like, so what are we thinking, man?
Honestly, it looks pretty good, you know, it's nice to have a Star Wars game that does not have any Jedi in it. I think that's been lacking for a hot minute. It looks like it's going to be set in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, because I'm pretty sure that's Han Solo, correct?
That's Han.
Yeah. Okay. All right, just making sure.
Yeah,
you know,
Han.
it could be anybody. Hey, listen, man. In those days, everyone was frozen in carbonite. You know, like. But it looks like you get to go to multiple planets. It seems you're going to be building connections. You know, get to be a part of different guilds. Because I saw the gameplay trailer for it, and it was kind of they were touting how. I mean, this was years back. How long ago was it when they unveiled the gameplay for it?
That was a year back. So it was last year, dude.
It's been only a year.
It's been only like a few months, really.
No,
Well,
dude. It's been
close to a
longer
year.
than that.
Close to a year.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because dude, no.
But that's still a few months. It has not been a full year. They showed it at I think not E3. So it's been close to a year.
Gameplay trailer, because dude, it's felt like it's been so long.
It has been a while, but it has not been a full year.
Let me see.
Yeah, because it was
9 months ago.
9 months ago. Yeah, see, I told you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, very nice. Sorry, I don't know why I thought it was longer than that, but anyway, but yeah, because the gameplay apparently, you know, you have the freedom to like tackle different objectives, like how you want it to, and considering it's a Ubisoft game, I don't think there's going to be much. There's going to be not actually a lot of choice in how you handle a situation, if that makes sense. But the story looks like it's fun. Scoundrel type shit.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to be able to. It's definitely a different take on a Star Wars game because, like, at least up until this point, like in Star Wars games, you're always playing as like a Jedi or you're playing like a soldier.
Yes.
A lot of times, like you're doing shooty shoots in Battlefront, or you're a Jedi in like the Fallen Order or Knights of the Old Republic, or like the old Battlefronts, soldier. So yeah, it's nice to see that we're gonna be playing as like a scoundrel this time, a criminal.
Yeah, Scoundrel. Actually, when I was playing the Old Republic, the KOTOR MMO, my favorite class was actually the Smuggler class.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. 'Cause you got to like take cover and shit, and I thought that was cool. And also the storyline, finding the like trying to find this guy that like stole your ship and just keeps like scamming people left and right. It's actually a lot of no, dude. Honestly, the smuggler storyline, which I did not get to finish, was a lot of fun.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I mean that is what the Old Republic is good for. It's the stories. Just makes you wonder, man, this would have been great as a single player game.
I think that was like the first moment where we were like, Bioware?
Yeah.
Question mark?
What?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that was the first question mark.
That was the first question mark.
That's the
dude.
very first question mark I had for BioWare. Yeah, man, I think it looks. Oh, god damn, Jesus Christ! Knock the shit out of him.
Yeah, bro.
Ugh.
And the end fucking pistol whips him.
Ugh. Yeah, he's not gonna remember anything. Yeah, he's not gonna remember anything for a while. Yeah, I'm just the only thing I'm worried about is is this gonna have the classic Ubisoft design where like it's gonna be a fucking huge ass open world grind fest, or it's just gonna wear out its welcome after a while
And
because man,
Yeah.
like I played Rebirth, and Rebirth kind of had that Ubisoft formula, but like it knew when to step away, right? We were talking
Yeah,
about
we
it
actually-
yesterday, right? Like we were talking about like the
We were
towers,
talking about it last night. The towers, which
which I swear,
was-
man, if there's more than like 30 towers, I'm gonna lose my shit in this game. Because like in Rebirth, it's not that bad. There's like 4 or 5 towers per region, and there's like there's even less. I think like the last one, I think it's just like maybe like 3. So like there's maybe like 30 in total throughout the entire game. But like Ubisoft games, you'll have way more than that.
yeah, absolutely.
And I just hope that doesn't happen in this case. And I also hope like like the actual moment to moment gameplay, like outside of Ubisoft world activities, is cool. Like I remember in the gameplay trailer they showed like stealth and stuff, and there's like a little bit of combat.
Yeah.
And it did seem really cool, but I hope that it keeps expanding on that in cool, unique ways, and giving us different ways to approach the game. But
Yeah,
overall,
absolutely.
I'm kind of excited for it.
Yeah, I know this is. Yeah, I think if I remember from the gameplay trailer, there was going to be like a reputation system as well, so your actions will actually garner either favor or what's the opposite of favor? Scorn?
Disfavor.
Disfavor? I don't know. The opposite of favor. Like your actions will essentially gain reputation with some people and lose rep with others.
Yeah.
So
Well, we'll see, man. 'Cause you know how many times they tout that kind of stuff, and then it's like
I know. Oh,
it's
the
a
same way
fucking
that they
nothing
tout.
burger.
The same way that they tout the oh my god, approach a mission how you want. You have all these different branching paths to get your objective, and it's literally just either A or B, and if you're lucky, C.
Yeah, that happens all the time. These kinds of advertisements for these
Yeah,
kind of games.
and that's how you know you're in for a treat when they give you a C. When they give you a third option, it's like oh shit, damn, the game devs
There's a
are
third letter in the
spoiling-
alphabet. Oh my god,
They are spoiling me today. Thanks, Ubisoft.
I'm eating good.
Yeah, well, especially after their fucking Skull and Bones issue.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's still a Ubisoft original. So
Yep, don't you forget it.
don't you forget a Ubisoft original quadruple A, $70.
The quadruple A, the first quadruple A game in history, bro.
And now you're advertising a Star Wars game. God help you.
All right.
Yeah.
So I think that's about concludes today's episode, huh? Want to sign
Yeah,
us
that's
out?
Yeah, absolutely, sir. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us for this podcast. We know it's a little bit of a long one, but I guess we had a lot to say about a lot of stuff, so that always is good. But thank you so much for sticking with us. We really appreciate your support. Please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Leave a comment below if there's any topics that you want us to cover in the future, or maybe something that may have missed, or maybe you wanted to respond to something that we may have said in today's episode as well. You can find us, of course, on YouTube, and we're also available on Apple Podcast, Amazon Podcast, and Spotify as well.
All right.
Thank you very much.
So with that, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Peace.
Bye, everybody.